There we go. This is the juice, from my understanding. This is the juice.
Pro-Israel at a time when you say that they're doing a genocide.
You said that the Houthi Luffy was not a pirate.
He's not.
Or I'm sorry, not Houthi affiliated.
He's not. But even if he was, I wouldn't care. I hope you understand that.
Because that's rewriting history.
I'm gonna say this
No,
very clearly
it's not that
to
you cared. It's that
I'm
you
gonna say this
fucking
very
glazed
clearly
them
to you
up.
right now. 10 toes down. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
I believe what the Houthis are doing in terms of stopping Israel doing a genocide to implement a blockade on the Red Sea is a good thing.
Yeah.
10 toes fucking down. They are on the morally right side. Don't you also think they're on the morally right side?
Hey, Neo. They're on the morally right side. No, but granted, this video is before they got bombed to fucking shit. Like, the airport that they took control over just got fucking destroyed after they shot at Ben Gurion Airport in Israel. So, but yeah, that's fine. They're still doing God's work. Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Hold on.
You're saying that it's a genocide.
What have they done?
What the fuck are they supposed to do?
They hijacked a boat that had nothing to do with Israel? Like fucking
That's
bravo.
not true. That's not true.
Really? What was that? What did it have to do with Israel?
It was literally owned by an
It was
Israeli.
partially owned. It's a big multi-conglomerate company.
I'm catching up on stuff. Yeah. I want to look about understand about the war in Pakistan and India a bit as well, and then I'll catch up on some more news. But like, I want to finish this part because I just never got the chance to watch it. Been a busy week.
That was partially owned by an Israeli.
Yes.
It was bound for fucking for Turkey from
matter.
India.
What do you mean?
There was
What do
they
you think
kidnapped
BDS is,
5
dude? What do you think
totally
BDS stands for?
unrelated Filipino fucking prisoners and
kept
kept
them
them prisoners for a
in
year.
your fucking video. Are you gonna take that back too now? Now you admit that you were wrong on that
Take
part
what
too?
back? I didn't hear
Wow,
you.
what are we on?
Wait, what? Take what back?
You said that the Houthi Luffy was not a pirate.
He's not.
Or I'm sorry, not Houthi. No, it's not that you cared. It's that
I'm
you
gonna say this
fucking
very
glazed
clearly
them
to you
up.
right now. 10 toes down. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
I believe what the Houthis are doing in terms of stopping Israel doing a genocide to implement a blockade on the Red Sea is a good thing. 10 toes fucking down. They are on the morally right side. Don't you also think they're on the morally right side?
What have they done?
You're supposed to.
Hold on.
You're saying that it's a genocide.
What have they done?
What the fuck are they supposed to do?
They hijacked it.
So, on the more right side, they're just kidnapping civilians that have nothing to do with it. They're attacking ships that have nothing to do with it. Even if the one ship that he's showing in the video had like investors who are Jews who I believe live in Israel, the sailors had nothing to do with it. Meanwhile, they were abducted for a year. What are we talking about here? Oh, they're on the morally side. They just abduct civilians for a year.
A boat that had nothing to do with Israel? Like fucking
That's
bravo.
not true. That's not true.
Really? What was that? What did it have to do with Israel?
It was literally owned by an Israeli.
It was partially owned.
Island.
It's a big multi-conglomerate company that was partially owned by an Israeli.
Yes.
It was bound for fucking for Turkey from
matter.
India.
What do you mean?
There was
What do
they
you think
kidnapped
BDS is,
5
dude? What do you think
totally
BDS stands for?
unrelated Filipino fucking prisoners and kept them prisoners for a
in
year.
your fucking video. Are you gonna take that back too now? Now you admit that you were wrong on that
Take
part
what
too?
back? I didn't hear you.
What are we on? 4? 5? How many points have you actually backtracked
I don't know.
on so
I
far?
don't know what you're accusing me of. What was I wrong about?
You said in your video that it had nothing to do with Israel. You claimed that it wasn't owned by an
Partially
Israeli
owned by an Israeli guy?
You were wrong.
Partially owned by an Israeli guy? It's British owned. It's owned by a British
It is an
company.
Israeli
It's owned
conglomerate
by a
that owns
British
the
company.
fucking ship.
So it's owned by a British
You literally
company.
claimed that it was owned by Isle of Man. It was the Isle of Man ship.
It is.
Like you think
It
all
is.
of these ships mysteriously are just owned by that, and it's not a fucking easy
How
flag
much of
to
this?
get.
How much of this? So if this Jewish or this Israeli guy, is
0.5.
if this Israeli guy, how much does he need to own of this business that owns this boat to justify? Is it 0.1? Is it 0.2? Is it 5%? How much?
I don't know,
Anything.
and I don't care because I think that
Well,
even
you
if they
should.
get
As
even if they
long-
got
as long as
some
he
of the ships
invests
wrong, I
into
still
it.
think they're on the right side. Don't you?
I mean, like, I agree with their.
I'm not even conceding on that front, by the way, because I do think that once again that was owned by an Israeli conglomerate.
Show this again, man. How many deaths in Yemen occurred because of the Houthis? 377,000, by the way. Yep, there we go. Had died due to the war in Yemen. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. How many died of starvation? Nice. Okay, so a third of the people. Nice, and 85 of them children under the age of 5. Yeah. But Israel are the bad guys committing genocide. The Houthis killed way more in less time than Israel ever did in an active war. This is like a rebellion. Meanwhile, Israel is in an active war, killed less. Man. Yeah, Houthis, good guys. Houthis are The good guys here. Of course. Bro.
No, it wasn't. That's an outright lie. You're lying. It's not owned by an Israeli conglomerate. You're fucking lying. That's an outright pathetic lie. And you're basically running defense for terrorist organization. Now, do I defend what they do? I think what they're doing, their message is good. Their method is terrible.
Oh my god. See, this is why. And Ethan, please, for the love of God, come to the light, Ethan. You're halfway there. Come to the light. But again, progressive leftists is like it's rough. You know, it's rough. Funny enough, I bet Hassan watchers not only call him a Zionist. If this debate didn't happen, in my opinion, which, you know, good move by Ethan, I bet in like less than half a year, people would start calling him alt-right or far-rightist or whatever you want to call it, like extreme right, whatever. I mean, they already call him Nazi and Zionist, so that's like you're already like in the same category as everyone who is not a fucking left-wing extremist. But it's so pathetic, bro, this whole thing.
Oh, wait. Dude, let's ring up the fucking Al-Houthi family real quick. Tell us how you would stop a genocide when you're the poorest country.
Well, how would they stop a genocide? They clearly can't. They can't even... Like, how are you even trying to stop a genocide in a different country when you can't even take control of your own country? Like, under what circumstances do you think that you as a poor country have any power to do anything regarding Israel when you can't even finish the job at your own country? Stupid. They're literally just fucking idiots.
Hijacking an unaffiliated boat and kidnapping 15 fucking nationals and holding them for a year. How is that helping anyone?
Yeah, that's another thing that you actually got wrong, by the way, that even fucking Willie Sloptube called you out on. Those people, by the time you had released your context puke, those people...
What did he get wrong? Yeah, he released the content puke, whatever, the content nuke, like a few days after they were released, and he recorded that part of the content nuke probably before they were released. So when he recorded, he didn't get it wrong. Plus, they were abducted and held hostage for a fucking year. Even if he got it wrong, they were still abducted for a fucking year. What are you talking about?
People had been released.
It was, yeah, I remember. I said they were prisoners for a year. I know they were released. It literally happened like the day I was finishing the video.
Yeah.
Were they held prisoner for a year? Were they held prisoner for a year? Were they held prisoner for a year? Were they held prisoner for a year?
Yeah, they were.
That's what I said. Thank you.
Yeah, they were all hostages.
So how's that help Israel? Taking a bunch of Filipino fucking unaffiliated sailors
Do you
hostage for a
understand
year?
the deterrence?
Well, how's it deter Israel? Kidnapping fucking...
Do you understand the concept of deterrence?
Okay, so here's the logic, right? So if we use Hamas Piker's logic, Israel is this evil country that doesn't care about human lives, right? How would it deter Israel if you just abducted like 15 random civilians? They're like, we don't care about civilians, bro. We are evil. Right? That's based on like Hamas Piker's logic. So if we are evil, why would we care about hostages, bro? Keep abducting all of them. The more you abduct, the more the UN and like the US will actually hate your guts. So if anything, you abducting them plays in our favor if they were the evil people, right? Based on Hamas Piker. Realistically speaking, though, because Israel is not evil people, right? But it's like they can't really do much about the hostages. Like, you literally just did absolutely nothing. All you did was incur the ire of more fucking people for people to hate the Houthis even more. The Houthis, if anything, have been adding support to Israel, like on the global scale, because of how stupid they are.
Yes,
how is that a deterrence?
It is a show of force to stop other, successfully mind you, to stop other commercial shipping from going through. They literally bankrupted an entire Israeli port. I'd say that's numbers on the fucking board, baby. And like I said, 10 toes down, support that initiative. Because if you believe it's a genocide, what the fuck are they supposed to do?
Okay, by the way, where's the Middle East map, Yemen, Israel? Okay, so what they are talking about, right, is this thing, I believe, right? Fuck. Can we get more? Okay. So this is the what they're talking about, right? That they're attacking people here. The port supposedly that they have bankrupt is in Haifa, right? So just remember this, okay? So supposedly, map of Israel. All right, so Haifa is over here, right? So if we look here, it's like at the like here, right? How is this? Because this is where they're abducting ships for the most part. The Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea. Red Sea goes into Israel, right? And the closest port would be probably Tel Aviv, not Haifa. Okay, so because you have Tel Aviv here, this is the closest port, right? Obviously, you have Ashdod, Ashkelon. I believe they are closed because of the war. But like Haifa is very far away, right? Like, why would you go here when you have Haifa? So them abducting ships here, which by the way, you go through here, you go through the Suez Canal, and then you go into Israel, right? You are more likely to still go to Tel Aviv than to Haifa. So they play absolutely zero part in bankrupting the Haifa port, right? I'm fairly certain the Haifa port was just because it's kind of close to, another war-torn area. Not war-torn, but like an attack vector, that it's probably safest to keep most of the ships around Tel Aviv, right? Or like, closer to like this line, right? The middle of it, rather than just straight up to Haifa. Because Haifa is pretty close to like Syria, I believe, right? I'm just saying that like, the Houthis did absolutely zero damage to something like Haifa, by abducting shit. I'm just saying.
Should they allow their coastline to continue having commerce as though nothing is going on up there?
Yeah, but it's not, again, it's also like not their territory, essentially. I'm surprised Egypt did not step in. Like, if anything, this is like the fact that the Houthis can attack ships in the canal, which is basically, you have Egypt waters, you have Yemenese waters, like Houthi waters, whatever, and then you have like the international waters where like you're not supposed to, like it's like everyone should be able to go there. And I'm surprised Egypt wasn't doing anything about it, or even like why aren't the ships going inside of like Egypt waters? Because like Egypt would probably allow it, and then if Yemen is going into the Egypt waters, then that would be like there should be a war or something like that between like Yemen and Egypt, right? I'm surprised Egypt's just like stayed out of it. I mean, they don't have to get involved, obviously. I'm just surprised that no one has tried to use Egypt in this war at all and just try to keep them out of it completely, even though Egypt is also putting a mass, like the biggest blockade on Gaza is from Egypt. So like, what is going on, right?
In Palestine, where Israel is doing a genocide in Palestine, how do you think the Yemeni population should have responded to the Israeli genocide? Should they have sat back and just
deal with their own shit? How do you think that, first of all, it's not the Yemeni government, it's the Houthis, okay? How should they have responded? Why do they need to respond, bro? Again, look at the map, bro. Look at the map. Why do you need to respond to this? What does this have to do with you? Oh, sorry, it's Sudan here, not Egypt. Egypt is a bit further up. So, okay, makes sense. Egypt doesn't get involved. And Sudan is not really a friend of Israel, so as far as I know, as far as I remember. But like, yeah, why does Yemen need to get involved at all? It's over here. Like, and they have their own fucking problems. Like, why do they even need to get involved? Other than they're just some bullshit fucking, oh, we hate Israel. They're itself separatists. They are separatists, but it's like they have an active rebellion in Yemen. They can't even, and again, Yemen, the real government does not control capital. I know that they're like, yes, I get that. I'm just saying that it's like Yemen is a very poor country. The Houthis are not a very rich organization. Yes, they're supported by Iran and all that stuff. And they still can't even just completely take control of Yemen. I know Houthis are similar to Hamas, Hezbollah. They're supported by Iran. I'm just saying that it's like Syria cannot get control of Syria. Hezbollah cannot get control of Lebanon. Right? Syria has a civil war going on. Yemen can't even get control. Like Houthis can't even get control of Yemen. And again, yes, you're right. They do not care about the people. So it's like it should be even easier to get control of Yemen. Right? If they don't care about people, it should be even easier to get control of the territory. They can't even do that, and they think that their best course of action is to attack Israel. Now again, obviously it's because they're supported by Iran, and Iran tells them what they need to do. Right? Hey, I need you to shoot this, and it's like stop fighting Yemenis and just like, attack Israel. But it's like, what do you want the Houthis to do? It's like, why do the Houthis really need to even attack Israel in this situation? Israel, by the way, had absolutely no intentions to touch Yemen or the Houthis ever. Up until they involved themselves in this war. They had absolutely no interest, no reason to do anything regarding Yemen. And then they decide that, okay, this is our problem now. Like, okay, bro, and again, I get it. It's all Iran wants to destroy Israel. I get it. Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Gaza, and Yemen. They want to attack Israel from all sides. And bro, I'm sorry, but learn your fucking lesson, bro. If you couldn't do it with Jordan and Egypt back in the biggest fucking territories, right? Where is it? Oh my god, let me see. The biggest fucking territories, Jordan, Egypt, right next to Israel, way back in the day, and you couldn't do it back then, or you're not doing it now, when Israel has a lot more support, a lot more power, a lot more technology, a lot more weapons than you could ever fucking supply. Right? The only thing, and this is the thing that annoys me the most about this conflict, the only reason that Israel didn't demolish every fucking opposition is because of international pressure. Israel could easily destroy Syria, Lebanon, and Gaza if they didn't care about civilian casualties. The only reason that you still have an active conflict in the area is because Israel cares about civilian casualties. If this was the situation for any other country with the amount of firepower that Israel has, there would be, all of this would already be Israel territory. Bro, can you imagine Mexico doing to the US what Syria, Lebanon, and Gaza have been doing to Israel? There would be no fucking Mexico. Okay? it's absurd that people think Israel is the bad guy here. It's fucking crazy, man. Oops, don't want to do full screen.
He is not Houthi, by the way.
And also, they can't say, obviously, they fucking can't say from the river to the sea, Palestine, because that scares you, Ethan. So obviously, they can't do that either. So
it doesn't, honestly, it doesn't scare me. It just shows your colors. As a Jew, when you hear from I mean, I guess if you're a delicate Jew that, you live in California all your life and, you live, in luxury and you never knew strife, and you hear that, you feel like you're under attack. A regular Jew like me can't really support Israel to that extent because of the growing Muslim population. Yes, I know. This is, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This has been a plan in, this is an odd coincidence. I don't know if this was actually a plan, but it feels like an odd coincidence. There's so many Muslim population in all the Western world that because of all of this population, governments cannot openly support Israel. Just a conspiracy. But it's kind of odd, France, fucking 50% Muslim population or some shit like that, right? It's the West cannot support Israel. But all I'm saying is, if Israel stopped caring about international pressure, right, and October 7th happens, October 8th, they just fucking flatten Gaza, which sucks. There's 2 million citizens who would have died there. No one would even talk about it by December of 2023. As sad as it is, that is the retention rate of today's modern X users. Okay, by the next month even, they would just not even care about it. Not saying that Israel would be in the right to do it. I'm just saying that if it were to happen, by the end of that year, nobody would even care about it. Right, you're gonna have protests for a few weeks, whatever. Oh my God, Israel's genocide, da 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 da. You have them now, anyways. Even without the genocide, you have these protests. But you think would have been much worse if Israel went full throttle on these motherfuckers? Fuck no. right? Except that Israel doesn't want to do that because it actually cares for human lives, unfortunately, for them, right? It's a bad strategy. It's nice of them, but it's a bad strategy. And that strategy is being used against them, right? That's why you have citizens sleeping, and under their bed they have fucking Katyushas.
That's what Norman Finkelstein said.
How can people be pro-Palestine in a way that you think is appropriate?
Where your example is hijacking an unaffiliated ship and kidnapping 15 sailors?
Not unaffiliated. It's not unaffiliated. But even if it was unaffiliated, totally, as I said already, if it was unaffiliated, that wasn't unaffiliated. You lied about that, and you recognize that you lied about that.
By the way, so the ship that he's talking about, so whatever, part owned, whatever means like big shares, you should really see the Indo-Pac thing. It's much similar. 100%. Oh, dude, it's the exact same shit. And even the guy, I saw the Asmongold video reacting to I think it's like the Prime Minister or President of India. I don't know how their system works. And he talks about like the events that happened throughout. And it's like, bro, it's the same fucking strategy. It is the same strategy. India, by the way, Hindu is like, if anything is a religion of peace, it would be Hinduism or whatever it's called, right? I already have ChatGPT open, actually. Fuck, what is the religion breakdown of India? Okay. Swaziland draws parallels from quite different from the Israel. Like, obviously, there's gonna be like differences, obviously, but like, okay, Hinduism. Is Hinduism the most peaceful religion? Our religion can be universally classed as the most peaceful, including Hinduism, because each major world religion is blah 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 blah. Yeah. Guys, Misa, non-violence. Okay, like it's emphasized this, right? Meanwhile, let's be real. What what Islam is, we all know what Islam is. Okay, it's a very not non-violent fucking religion. Okay, it's like there will be peace when everyone is under Islam law. Or it's like, okay, thanks, right? So, yeah, oh my god. Sorry. Nicotine gum is just fucking getting my brain going. Yeah, like, so you're having a war of a religion, like, a place that is majority of its religion. Pakistan is so unstable that all of its prime ministers have never come to Yeah, I think, I mean, some would say that is very stable. Yeah, man, it's like, yeah. And by the way, the Pakistan religion breakdown. Wait, I mean, we all know what's gonna be like 99% or some shit like that. Yeah, 96%. Yeah, okay. The religion of peace that is controlling the area is is having a really hard time maintaining peace. Color me fucking surprised. Let's be real. So you have a country that believes in peace. And again, by the way, you should check the religion percentage change of India and Pakistan after independence between... as far as I understand, Pakistan basically destroyed everyone. I think that it was like, used to be like 20% Christian. Now it's like... Where is it? Now it's 1% Christian, something like that. Yeah. Like, yeah. Just ChatGPT. Okay. I'll just copy the way you said it. Religion percent, and let's do it like that. I'm gonna get into this a lot more. I really want to finish the Hassan Ethan. Hindus decreased. No, not India. Sorry. Wait. Religious percentage change of India and Pakistan. Oh, okay. So this is the India change, and this is Pakistan change. Okay. Muslims grew by 20%. Hindus decreased to 1%. Christians, okay, Christian was like not there, and Sikh to negligible numbers, and Sikhs are just extinct. Okay. So Hinduism, obviously, yeah, and then this one, yeah. Meanwhile, Islam grew in India, and we really grew there. I mean, tell me who's the conqueror here? Like, let's be real. Who is the conqueror here? Right? Christianity barely changed. Christianity barely changed, even though like I guess like the people from Pakistan migrated to India or some shit like that. Sikh, again, not very. I mean, this one's like just non-existent. Here barely changed. Buddhism. Oh, I think Buddhism is actually like the most peaceful one, not Hinduism. But either way, Buddhism. Okay, and non-existent. Okay, and non-existent, and others, yeah, like just non-existent. Okay, so the religion of peace is taking over another region peacefully, basically. And let's be real, if this war didn't happen, if like these fucking idiots didn't go and just massacre civilians, what you would have is, because growth actually gonna happens exponentially. Like it starts like, kind of like how you start multiplying by 2, and it's like, oh, it's 1, it's 2, it's 4, now it's 8, it's 16, it's 32, it's 64, and it's like every generation you would actually like eventually, if they didn't create these problems, I guarantee, I can easily see in like less than 100 years, this number would double if not triple. Right? They're just unlucky that Hindus are fucking like rabbits as much as Muslims fucking like rabbits, right? Like that's the only thing that they're unlucky. But honestly, I'm not a fan of India. India is a shithole in like vast majority of India. It's disgusting. Like it is what it is. Like it's just it's not. It's a great country to tour if you have enough protection on you to not be pickpocketed. But other than that, like, aside from looking at architecture, there's nothing there. Pakistan you can't even visit. Yeah, Pakistan only became popular 5 years before independence, and the party had made Pakistan still exists in present-day India. Yeah, because, again, religions of peace, like areas that are peaceful, and this is the biggest weakness of the West as well, is that they allow for the freedom of choice, freedom of all that stuff. And when you have everyone in agreement for freedom, you're gonna have stuff like Islam that would take advantage of the freedom to dominate that area, and eventually there will be no freedom, right? Literally, that is Islam for you, right? Everyone should fall under Islam, and like they can play by your rules until they have the numbers, and then they will take they will be peaceful until they have the numbers, and then when they have the numbers, they're gonna go into full Islam mode and take over. That's just how it is. And so that's why honestly, I do not believe the West will survive the next maybe 200 years, just because of like how they're allowing Islam take over their countries, right? They're like Muslims are taking advantage of the system in the West to increase their numbers, because again, the West, because of like how free it is and how nice it is, like how good life is, they are not having children. It is not in their doctrine. There is no duty to have children, whatever. Meanwhile, you have Muslims, 6, 7, 11, 13 kids per family. Okay, they will demographically take over. Right? I'm not saying, oh, great replacement theory. It's just that's how it is. When you have Western people living good life and not reproducing, guess what's going to happen? Right? When you allow people who are reproducing at massive rates into your country. But anyways, fuck, man. Look, I need to get through this. Hopefully as soon as possible, because I want to get into the. I've been over this like yesterday. Saudi Arabia can be seen exceptionist. Then they are currently exceptionists. Yes. UAE and Saudi Arabia. Here's the thing: they adapted Western values. But as far as I know, what is the UAE and Saudi birth rates? They adapted Western values from like, now I wouldn't say like full Western. They still have like some Muslim whatever, but like, yeah. See, so now it's like 8 births per 1,000 family. Yeah, whatever. Where's the average? Yeah. See? This is not good. This this is not good, because the people who would believe in more Western values and more like just security and freedom, right? They are not reproducing. right? What is Saudi? 2.2, so they're still maintaining it. But if it goes down further, like everyone who believes in Western values will decrease in numbers, right? In the long term, right? Now, can this like flip back on its head? For sure, everything can happen, right? Maybe people would like realize, maybe more people will come back to Jesus and decide that we need a family with like 5 kids, whatever, and it will start balancing itself out. I'm just saying the trajectory right now, based on like how your birth rates are decreasing, for people with Western values. Meanwhile, people who are coming from third world countries, they have values of 12 kids per family. Now, what could happen, which is unlikely, it should have happened if they imported, like, you know, in more controlled ways. 700s, the Western population did start increasing. It did. But they had a lot more Christian values back then. You have a lot more atheists now, or whatever you want to call it. People who don't believe in God and don't believe in Christianity and all that stuff. You have a lot more of them now than you did back then. 1700s, almost everyone was like doing Christian shit. Okay, which would mean multiple kids per family and all that stuff, right? Now the problem is, so what usually should happen with immigration, you take like a small amount of people, like you immigrate in a controlled manner, right? And then the people who are getting migrated, they they integrate into society, right? And therefore, like even if you come from a society where you have like 12 kids, 15 kids, whatever, because you're integrated into society, you realize, oh, I don't need to have that many kids. Oh, you get into the machine, you get into the rat race and whatever, and you don't have time to have as many kids, right? So then you start having less kids, and then it balances itself out. The problem is when you migrate millions of people together, these millions live all together. They don't interact with the culture of the place, and they get to keep their own culture. So their culture doesn't change, and their culture, which has give birth to 10, 15 fucking kids, will eventually start taking over. Now, the question is, will these people who are born into this culture of having multiple kids, if they start going and integrating with the rest of society, will they then, within generations, start decreasing their numbers or not? The adaptation of religion values. The problem is radicalism. Having kids is not the problem. The problem are the radical ideas. I would say the problem is more economical in many ways. The reason people who are rational don't have kids is because kids are expensive, and it's already hard to just buy a house, have a car, and maintain a family. So like having 1 or 2 kids is like already like insanely hard, right? And a lot of people who like can barely take care of themselves, now they have to like take care of kids, whatever. Now, to my understanding, when you have kids, man, you stop thinking about yourself and you go and you fucking get to work, and you will find a way to make a living that you can help with the kids. Obviously, the government also helps you when you have kids. Problem is, most people don't view it that way. They view, I like my life as it is right now. It's not too bad. It's not too great. I am renting out this fucking basement that I'm living in, and I get to play my video games, right? Like I'd say my mentality, which is similar to my mentality, I think this is the most prevalent, and it's not a good mentality. I know it's not a good mentality, but like it is what it is, right? This mentality like ruins the Western society, right? You have more atheists, and again, I'm not religious. I am an atheist. I'm a nihilist, but I can see the problem that not having religious values, how it destroys society. All right. Anyways, we're gonna talk more about that when we get to the India Pakistan. I really wanna focus on this. So I'm sorry if I'm not replying to more stuff about this. I just really want to get over this one.
The record, okay. But if it was, people can look into it. It wasn't. Even if it was,
they didn't even kidnap random people. That's like terrorist shit. Why are they kidnapping random unaffiliated sailors? How are you defending that?
You know what?
You're defending them kidnapping these unrelated foreign sailors.
Yes, rich people should have more kids. 100%. Middle class should have more kids. Everyone should have more kids. If you have Western values, yes, like that is the logical conclusion of what should happen. That is not the reality of the case. Yeah, because again, even if you're middle class, fuck man, I just said I'm not going. But okay, last thing I'm replying to about this. Even if, okay, you are middle class and you have multiple kids, there are so many systems in place in like the Western world, the US, Canada, I'm pretty sure Europe has even more of this, that helps you with having multiple kids. Who is really moving to Japan though? You have only people with Western values move to Japan, and Japan has like 0.7 or some shit like that birth rates. Japan birth rates. And also, Japanese is one of the most racist places in the world. Them and China. They don't believe in racism. They believe you have Japanese and you have everyone else. I'm totally mostly Western. Yeah, mostly Western people, Western values. They are not having kids. Yeah. Yeah, stood 1.2 children. Yeah, 1.2. I think. Oh, sorry. South Korea is actually the worst one. It's like 0.7. But yeah, so like fertility rate 1.2 for 2 people. That means your society is decreasing like by 50% in every generation, right? And you need a replacement level needs to be at 2.1. So every 2 people need to have 2.1 births. We did, didn't we? You will be sad. Yeah. Here's the thing. Do you know why the poorest countries have the most kids? Because of fertility death rates. Africa, like the tribes and stuff, same problems, right? The poorer a country is, the more birth rates they actually have. Because a lot of these kids just do not survive, right? So it's like if you want to make sure that your lineage survives, you need a lot of kids. That's how it is. Right?
You know what's their shit? Israel fucking blowing up a humanitarian aid flotilla. 1,002. No, I'm not saying you're defending that. I'm just explaining to you what actual terrorism looks like.
Well, you are defending terrorism,
as of this conversation taking place, Israel last night literally drone strike a fucking humanitarian aid ship that was headed for Gaza off the coastline of Malta. That's real fucking terrorism. What the Houthis are doing, on the other hand, is resistance. And it's not only moral, but it's just.
Very good. You're right. You're so righteous.
Justice is
served. Do you think that the Filipino hostages who were held there for a year agree that that was an awesome, that was an awesome act of resistance? Probably not. Right?
Probably not. Can you explain to me what you would do? What would you do?
I think
take the ship, release the hostages, send them home. Like, if you are a just army, right, and you are like taking these ships, which, by the way, honestly, great. It's a good strategy. Take the ships, take the supplies, what do you call it? Increase your own forces. I think that's a great war strategy. I think the Houthis would be fucking brilliant to do that. The problem is when you also kidnap the people that are on it and not release them, you are effectively a terrorist group. If you were just stealing the supplies, okay, that's like, you're just stealing shit, right? When you take hostages or kill hostages or just fucking massacre your people, right? If you use those supplies that you're stealing to make sure that your people can survive and not have 80,000 children die to starvation, right? Or a total of 177,000 people dying to starvation out of 377,000 people, okay? Then we can say that it's like, okay, you know what? They're doing what they have to in order to survive. They're not hurting anyone. They're just like they're hurting somebody financially, but they're not hurting anyone. Okay, that's fine. They're trying to do the most that they can to help their people. I'll be like, you know what? Fuck it, man. Houthis, good on you. Like, yeah, it's a crime to steal whatever, but you guys are in dire need. You need the supplies. You need dude, no fucking complaints from me. Okay. The problem is when you use the supplies that you're stealing, the money that you're getting, and you only create war machines to like rockets and stuff like that to attack Israel, and then you kidnap people for a year that have nothing to do with this instead of just releasing them right away and making sure that they're well fed and whatever and sending them on your way. That's when there's a bit of like, okay, like you guys are not stealing it for survival. You're stealing this to create war. Okay, so then I'm like, yeah, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, fucking destroy the Houthis. Fuck them.
Well, first of all, I think that like there's something to be said for stopping the cargo in that strait, but they're doing it insanely fucking stupid. They're stopping unaffiliated ships and they're kidnapping unaffiliated people. How is that good?
Yeah,
they're doing it bad.
It's not an unaffiliated ship, by the way. But even then,
you won't explain how it's affiliated. You said it's owned by an Israeli conglomerate. That is
by the way, just because it is partially owned, like a massive shareholder is some Israeli conglomerate. That also doesn't mean that these Israeli conglomerates are giving money to the government. It's not like it's owned by the government of Israel. You're attacking business people who are Jewish, who might be living in Israel, but you don't know how much they're actually helping in the Israel war machine or the Israel genocide, right? Like, you're just literally attacking civilian ships, which, by the way, again, like I said, if you're just doing it to increase your own survival rate, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. When you're kidnapping people, when you're killing people, when your people are still starving while you're stealing shit, maybe not so good.
Right lie. Hold on, you're doing disinformation right now. It was not owned by an Israeli conglomerate. You said that. It was a lie. Galaxy Leader is a vehicle carrier that was owned by a British company, operated by a company connected. It was connected. It wasn't even, he didn't even own it. He was connected to an Israeli businessman.
Yeah.
It was co-owned by a business that this Israeli guy was involved in.
Yeah, co-owned by Abraham Ungar.
So what? You know his name.
What do you mean? It's co-owned by an Israeli. What are we talking about?
No, it's co-owned by a company that has an Israeli dude affiliated with it.
Well, you asked me how it's
owned
connected.
by a British company.
You asked me how it's connected. I'm telling you how it's connected.
Well, you're lying.
And now you don't like that
Yeah,
connection.
but he literally just said how it's connected. He just said how it's connected.
You're lying. That's what I don't like.
Like, you have two companies that co-own, let's say, right? Like, I don't know how many companies, but let's say you have two companies that like 50-50, whatever, on this like cruise ship, right? One of the companies, a percentage of it is owned as a shareholder, whatever, by an Israeli dude. So that means for this whole ship business operating company, right? The Israeli dude, who, by the way, is not the government, is just an Israeli billionaire, right? He owns like 10-20% of it as a shareholder, at most, right? So it's like, oh, okay, well, there's a Jew affiliated with this, therefore it's okay for us to kidnap 15 Filipinos that have nothing to do with politics and they're just like having a living. Okay, cool.
I'm not lying. The ship info is readily available, Ethan.
Yeah, I agree. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter anyway. The problem for me, really, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay,
So
that's
the
point number
larger
5 that you also presented falsely on your contact view.
The problem is more the kidnapped sailors. I just don't understand you can justify kidnapping a bunch of unaffiliated sailors.
I don't, Ethan.
You are.
Ethan.
You go. Have you ever heard of deterrent?
Yeah, walk with me through this carefully.
Yeah, please explain to me how it's justifiable to kidnap 15 sailors.
What would you do? Ethan, what would you do? You have a better way to do it, I think. We're going to figure it out.
Well, like I said, you can do it without kidnapping unaffiliated.
Holding them for a year.
Speaking of better way to do it, what is a better way to annihilate Hamas in Gaza? Since we're talking about like the better way to do it, what is a better way to annihilate Hamas? How do you annihilate Hamas if you're Israel?
There were.
Still haven't heard anyone give a good enough answer. Like, in what world do you agree to the terms of terrorists? No, dissolve the government because terrorists attack your people. In what fucking world? How does a government like Israel, like let's say it wasn't even Israel, like how would a government get rid of Hamas with while they're like fucking implanting themselves with civilians?
Resistance, okay, that cut off supply lines, okay, supply lines for the Nazis, or even sometimes supply lines that actually impacted the civilians, okay, impact the civilians. Do you feel like that kind of resistance was unwarranted?
It's completely irrelevant. Why did they hold them for a year?
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay, because they're terrorists.
Yeah. What? Because they're terrorists?
Yeah, they're terrorists. They kidnap innocent civilians.
Are they? So the
Filipino guys?
The people that are resisting against the Israeli genocide that you call a genocide are actually terrorists because you don't agree with
kidnapping
their
innocents?
Fucking methods. Well, you have no way.
Kidnapping innocents.
No alternative. You have no alternative.
That's not true. I say just don't kidnap innocent people.
Nothing else.
It's easy. Just don't kidnap innocent people.
Simple as that.
They could have done that, right? They could have taken the boat. They could have commandeered the boat and not kidnap people, right? Oh, is that possible?
Okay, fair. Do you think that warrants the standard of saying that one of the only groups that is doing militancy against and resisting against...
He's switching the subject, but he just said fair. Oh, he just lost so much support from his terrorist supporters. It's like, fair? He agreed that Houthis shouldn't kidnap civilians? Oh, maybe he's not a full-on terrorist supporter. I can't support this guy anymore as a terrorist supporter myself, right?
Israel's genocide, which they stopped, by the way. They literally stopped when Israel actually followed through on a ceasefire. If they were just, erroneously and randomly fucking trying to claim ships because they're pirates, they want to live the pirate life, then obviously they wouldn't have stopped doing that, don't you think? And they only started their blockade after Israel started.
Wait. Say again?
They were just, erroneously and randomly fucking trying to claim ships because they're pirates, they want to live the pirate life, then obviously they wouldn't have stopped doing that, don't you think? And they
want to live the pirate life. What is the simple what do you call it? We back. Yo, what's up, man? Simple, not explanation. What do you call it? Description of a real life pirate. Real pirate is someone who attacks and robs ships at sea, often using force at the threat of violence without authorization from any government. They target cargo, valuables, and even kidnap crew for ransom. Oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, I guess that's the kidnap crew for ransom. I don't remember there being ransom. Do pirates often kill the crew? Don't always kill the crew, but it can happen. Historically, pirates often prefer to capture ships and their crew to steal valuables to hold them for ransom. I mean, modern piracy. Balance can vary, with some pirates engaging in deadly attacks and others simply robbing the ship without killing anyone. The level of violence depends on the situation, pirates' goal, and how much resistance they encounter. Okay. Weren't most priests historically from Haiti and were gay? What? Oh, pirates. I was like, priests? Pirates historically from Haiti and we're just talking about the Houthi pirates, right? Because like they want to be pirates, and pirates apparently kidnap people, so it's not terrorism because they're pirates.
They only started their blockade after Israel started starving Gaza again.
They want to be actually like One Piece pirates, you know, like the One Piece pirates. They want to be. Yeah, they want to be these guys, right? So it's like, yeah, these guys are good pirates. These guys are good pirates. This is not a good pirate, but like he's kind of not fully evil, right? This is a good pirate. This was a good pirate. Like this is how you portray pirates, most of them, in One Piece. Aside from like Blackbeard, and there are a few that are like just pure evil. So this is our idea of pirates. This is like the Hassan. I mean, my point still stands. Yeah, no, you are. Okay. The whole point is that the Western world sees pirates like this. Oh, they're just like, you know, nice people who just, you know, kidnap shit from Yemen and are gay. Well, these ones are going to be historically Yemenis and gay. But yeah, this is how the Hamas Piker viewers see pirates. They think of this, like they have some hot ladies on it as well. They have robot arm people, right? That's good and pirate in the same sense. Hey, people watch too much anime when they listen to Hamas Piker over here.
And
that's
also
great.
Turned around.
You see, like, hey, see this pirate symbol over here? Yeah, the pirates are the good guys. Pirates are actually good people, right? That is the belief on the Hamas Piker viewership. Pirates are good, just people, and they're fighting against the evil world government that is trying to take over the world.
They only started their blockade after Israel started starving Gaza again, and then
that's
also
great.
Turned
what does
around.
that do with innocent sailors?
Ethan, I don't think you want to go down this route.
I'm ready. What do you mean?
Innocent people is terrorism. Is Israel terrorist? Is the IDF terrorist?
I mean, you could characterize it that way.
Is the IDF terrorist?
I mean, it's an army, so it's a different thing. It's like
why is it a different thing? You think the Ansarullah movement doesn't have a standing army? They have an army.
The Houthis did like a hostile takeover of like a portion of Yemen. They're at odds with the government. It's different. They also own slaves, by the way.
We're going to talk about the Ansarullah movement.
But I'll say yeah, Israel. The IDF is terrorist. Yes, the IDF is terrorism.
Hold on. Talk to me about how the Ansarullah movement actually came to power without getting any notes from your Discord or anything like that. Explain to me the process in which Ansarullah actually came to power.
I don't know.
What?
I do not know.
You don't know?
Yeah, you should try saying that sometimes.
In your video, you also used a lot of Saudi outlets to be like,
You should try saying that sometimes, dude. True. Well, he does say it when he talks about the India-Pakistan, and then he continues to fully support Pakistan, the terrorist government. Yeah. It's like while calling India the terrorist government. Yeah. I just made a video about this. How Hassan Piker claims that Palestine is a rogue terrorist state, using his logic regarding India, Pakistan. So.
These guys are actually doing slavery.
Give me
and
one.
It turned out that actually
Give me the Saudi outlets.
The videos that you used did not even suggest that it was Ansarullah that was doing slavery in the fucking poorest country on the planet. Okay?
The Houthis have slaves. That's not even contested.
They weren't the ones who were doing slavery according to your own fucking video, but you still used it.
The Houthis have slaves.
Saudi
Undisputed.
propaganda papers that at a time when.
Do the Houthis have slaves or brought back? Who can type brought back slavery to Yemen? Let's see. I don't know much about their slavery laws, right? Yes, there are credible reports indicate that Houthi government in Yemen has been implicated in practices resembling slavery, particularly in areas under their control. Okay. Legal human rights. Yeah. Well, slavery is officially illegal in Yemen. Okay, so slavery is illegal in Yemen. So Yemenis do not practice slavery because it is illegal, but the Houthis, brought it back to life. All right, bro. Sounds good. Thank you for listening in. And if you hear something interesting, feel free to stop everything you're doing, and typing something. Also, no, it's fine. If you want to listen on YouTube, that's fine. It's better if you view it on Twitch, but it's fine.
Why are you defending the Houthis for having slaves and kidnapping innocents? It's just so unnecessary.
What are you talking
about? Just acknowledge
dude?
that they do terrible shit.
The Saudi-backed government was the one that was actually doing slavery.
No, well, if they did.
The who?
When Saudi Arabia
why you're
was doing a
the
fucking
Houthis
genocide.
for having slaves and kidnapping innocents. It's just so unnecessary.
What are you talking
just
about?
Just acknowledge
dude?
that they do terrible shit.
The Saudi-backed government was the one that was actually.
Yemen's international. Okay, so Yemen is backed by Saudi Arabia. Does the Yemen? Wait, stop. Isn't the statistic that today there are more slaves in the world than in history? Yeah, of course. There's more people, so there's more slaves. Yeah. Yemen government that is backed by Saudi practice slavery. There are no widespread reports or credible evidence suggest that the Yemeni government, backed by the Saudi Arabia, practices slavery. The internationally recognized government of Yemen, despite being engaged in a brutal civil war, has condemned slavery and other human rights. Okay, so Hamas Piker is obviously lying, as he tends to do. Yeah, that's usually what happens. I mean, the Saudi-backed government, so he means the Yemenis internationally recognized government, is supposed to be practicing slavery. Apparently, though, it is illegal. So only the Houthis practice it, which, by the way, we saw it in the previous one, but I just want to confirm, right? So, okay, cool. Caught in a lie. I mean, what else is new?
Doing slavery.
No, well, if they did, then the Houthis also have slaves. That's just a statement of fact.
No, the Houthis don't have shit. Okay,
they don't have shit. They don't even have slaves.
They don't have shit. They just control most of Yemen and the capital, and they're kind of running the show. But they don't have shit. They might not have shit, but they do have slaves.
Like, what are you talking about?
That's not the point I'm making. They are the poorest country on the planet that just came out of a man-made famine.
How's that blockade, by the way, helping the country?
Saudi Arabia
How is
and
the
the
blockade
UAE
helping
Twitch doesn't have background noise? Oh, really? Oh, fuck. Okay, well, that sucks. Yeah. It's just better because, more views on Twitch will, people will be able to see it more, whereas, on YouTube, it doesn't matter as much. If I turn off screen, it stops. Yeah, okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, and no delay on chat, which is fantastic, too, yeah.
The famine in Yemen. How's the blockade helping the famine in Yemen?
There is, as far as I understand, there's no longer a famine in Yemen. I'm talking about before, because you talked about how you were a regional expert.
What is blockading it doing for the poorest country?
Is there a famine in Yemen currently? Yes or no? Just give me a yes or no. I'll tell my home slave to turn the stream on it. Bella or the other? No. Yes, Yemen is currently facing a severe humanitarian crisis with widespread food insecurities. Okay, so another lie by Hamas Piker. Shocked! I am shocked that Hamas Piker is lying for the sake of terrorists. Oh my god, I cannot believe it.
Allah and their violent takeover of Yemen. So I was trying to figure out what you know about this. Maybe you know something that I don't know. So I was trying to pick your brain a little bit.
So explain to me why it matters.
It seems like you don't know shit.
Sure, I don't know about this specific thing. Tell me why it matters.
Bro said Saudi Arabia backs Yemen. When they trying to genocide them? No. So the Yemenis government is backed by Saudi Arabia. The Houthis, and Saudi Arabia don't get along. Yeah. So Saudi Arabia was backing or is backing the Yemenis government, but the Houthis are the rebelling force against that. Yeah. Who brought back slavery? I don't know, man. I don't know. And Yemenis government does not support slavery, apparently. Who are backed by it. Can ChatGPT the difference between Yemen's people and Houthis? I did, technically. In what different, what do you mean, ChatGPT, the difference? What's the difference? I mean, what is the difference? Yemen and Houthis. Yemen refers to the entire country, while the Houthis are a specific group within Yemen. Okay, sorry, no, okay, not what I meant. Houthi group versus Yemen official government. I don't think they're a minority. I mean, they might not be a minority because they killed everyone else, but like, you know. Yemen government headed by President Abrabu Mansour Hadi, who fled the country in 2015, was recognized as the official government of Yemen by the international community after the unification of North and South Yemen in 1990. Government aims to restore its authority and defeat the Houthi rebellion. Yeah, so the Houthis are just a rebellion. I believe Houthis are still like Yemenis. They're not like foreign to the place. Origin of the war. The civil war in Yemen began in 2014 when the Houthis seized control of Sana'a and later declared themselves the new government. President Hadi fled the country in early 2015 and the Yemeni government was forced into exile. The conflict intensified in March 2015 when Saudi Arabia and its allies launched an air campaign in support of Hadi's government. Saudi-led coalition. The Saudi-led coalition has been fighting to restore Hadi's government, but this war has led to widespread destruction, loss of life, and humanitarian suffering. The Houthi forces have managed to retain control of much of northern Yemen, including Sana'a, and have been able to sustain their military capabilities, even launching missile attacks into Saudi Arabia. Is it the same group of people that split by ideology? I mean, technically, yeah, looks like. Because the Houthis are kind of gay, but we know some Yemenis people back home. Their food is phenomenal. Yeah, no, the Yemenis in Israel have like the best food. Yeah, 100%. Big portion of the population is Yemen. Well, everyone is Yemenis. It's like North and South Yemen, right? Like,
why it matters? What their blockade?
Yeah, clearly.
Their blockade is. Their blockade is awesome.
Why it matters? How they came to power?
Oh, because you used Saudi newspapers in the time when Saudi Arabia, according to Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, all fucking NGOs, was doing a Western-backed blockade that was killing hundreds of thousands of people, and the headlines that you used in your context were from Al Arabiya and numerous other outlets that had their own personal investment in vilifying the Ansar Allah movement. Having said that, of course, I also think that there are plenty of criticize about the Ansar Allah movement. I don't agree with everything that they're fucking doing, as I've said time and time again, like their banner, right? Their banner says first to Jews, which you also presented in your video. Except, remember when you talked about Norm Finkelstein? Norm Finkelstein doesn't agree with from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Civilians. Can we play the clip of Norm Finkelstein talking about the curse the Jews and what he thinks about that? Let's do that.
I don't really care what people think about curse the Jews. I take it at face value. It's a curse upon the Jew, right? It's like the saying, a pox be upon thee. What was the intention of it? The saying, a pox be upon thee, is an old English expression historically used as a curse or a wish for misfortune to befall someone. Here's what the intention behind was. Pox refers to a contagious disease, specifically smallpox, which was deadly and widespread before vaccines were developed. The term was used metaphorically to wish a person an illness or a fate as grim as suffering from such a disease. That is what it actually means. When you say, a curse be upon you, it's the same as the English saying, a pox be upon you. Okay? So, pox... if you're an adult, is a very deadly disease. If you're a child, you're just going to be itchy all the time, right? In literature and historic text, including works by Shakespeare and other writers from that era, yada, yada, yada. And essence, the saying was expression of ill will or malediction, where the intention was to wish someone an unfortunate or painful fate. Yeah, so when you say a curse upon the Jew, this is kind of what you mean, okay? And by the way, they mean the Jew, not the Israeli Jew, not the Zionist Jew, the Jew. Any Jew, a painful fate, okay? And ideally death, okay? That is by what it means when they say a curse upon the Jew, okay? Everyone knows. Like, what is the Yemen slogan, or whatever it's called? Guys, right, death to America, death to Israel, a curse on the Jew. Victory to Islam. Okay, that is what they mean, okay? When they say death to Israel, that's cool. They don't like Israel, whatever. That is their belief. I don't care, right? Curse on the Jews, however, that is basically what they mean, okay? A curse would be a painful fate, either worse than death or death itself, okay? Death to America, I believe it's just like the belief of America, but like whatever, like they want America destroyed because America is actually the real threat to Islam taking over the fucking world would be America right now, right? And China probably, but you know, China is not as active about it. and victory to Islam. I wonder what victory to Islam means, you know? The last religion.
Of Norm Finkelstein's thoughts
how's that relevant?
Actions and the blockade against the Israelis. You used him as a primary source earlier because you thought, he's a reputable guy, which I think I agree.
He said something that...
when they tell you what they want, believe them. Do it straight up. Straight up. Funny enough that you only believe them when it's like a negative thing. When they wish something good, you never believe them either, so... It's just a coincidence usually. It's like, oh, I wish you all the best. Like, yeah, you don't really wish me all the best, motherfucker. I know.
I've said that I've been criticized for. What does that have to do with every other take he's taken? It doesn't mean that that like we're aligned with every other take in the world.
Dan, can you play this clip real quick? Sorry, this is 50 seconds.
It's irrelevant.
I passed it along.
It's totally irrelevant.
What do you mean it's irrelevant?
Because
they literally are telling you exactly what they want to do, what their unified mission is, black and white. Yeah. They're not hiding it. Like, that's the thing. They are literally like in your face. You don't have to like try and understand the context, like what they're actually saying. Like, bro, just it's written in front of you. Don't try to like add more to it. It's like it's plain and simple. What the fuck? I have a bruise on my hand. I'm not even sure what for him.
What the fuck what he said about it?
Wait, what do you mean?
You want to talk about
you use his perspective on From the River to the Sea to imply that he agrees with you.
He does.
I want to see if you agree with him
of the dude yesterday. Oh, that guy, yeah.
On this.
Yeah, dude, I was trying so hard to get that dude to say what he really means. And it's like he was circling around the fucking bush. Bro, just tell me what you want. Like, just tell me. I understand. You hate the Jew. And he started getting there. He's like, Israel shouldn't exist. Jews are not, don't actually exist, yada, yada. And it's like, okay, cool. Just tell me what you want, bro. Tell me exactly your goals. Like, I can understand it from here, but I need you to say it, right? Because it's fucking obvious, right? And like, I wouldn't even be a fan. I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, that's fine. Because like, as soon as you say like the Jew doesn't exist, then that's it. Like, I mean, like, I already know what you're saying.
Just play it.
All right, I'll play it.
Thank you.
So here, I'm going to play it, okay? And then when this is done, let's move on to something I know we both want to talk about. You claim, I'm going to play it. I just want to set this up. You claim that the worst thing I said in the context, puke, is that I wrongfully portrayed Jewish people fleeing from their countries, and I denied the Nakba somehow, which is crazy.
Yeah,
so
kind of came out, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
His intention was clear, but he didn't. His intention was clear, but he didn't specifically say it. Yeah.
You're not going to.
I'll just say up front, we can end on that point.
Oh, I can keep going all day
sure
if you want to.
Yeah, I know. I know you go to bed tonight in a cool race car bed, but I have family.
Okay, no, that's fine. Why are you thinking about what my bedroom looks like? It's kind of weird, man.
Yeah. No, you're right. You fucking badass fucking sports car bed. It's
very odd.
As long as the people in Gaza are subjected to a genocide, we won't stop. Do you know all the praise that's given to the Danish government because it helped evacuate Jews during World War II? But is there a case where a totally distant people did that for the people of Gaza? If I were to give a Nobel Peace Prize, I would divide it between three. South African delegation. Number two, those doctors who volunteered to go to Gaza, the Doctors Without Borders and others. One doctor, he was Palestinian. Why don't you leave? Because he had an option. He was able to go. He said, I didn't go to medical school for 30 years to abandon my people. He was killed. And the third, it's the Houthis. If genocide is the crime of crimes, the Houthis are the hero of heroes.
Yeah, I mean...
Ooh, bro. Is this Norm Finkelstein? Damn, he's a fucking retard. Okay. Like someone told me, therefore it's true. No, sorry. Yeah. Well, he was indoctrinated when he was young. It is what it is. Son's the human embodiment of a participation trophy. He shows up, makes some noise, and expects praise for existing. His entire brand is built on being the angriest, most aggressive dude bro on the internet. But beneath the bark, he's just a stupid individual who loves to hear himself talk. Not only that, he's also a massive fucking coward. He's a massive fucking coward. Not only that, but yeah, he's a massive fucking coward. In public, unless he's like way bigger than somebody, he never engages. As soon as he talks to somebody slightly bigger than him or even like close to his size, he like you can hear it in his voice and in his demeanor. He backs off so fast. And even if a small guy is being too confrontational with him, he starts like fucking squirming. Yeah, he's a fucking coward, bro.
The first two examples, I definitely agree. I think it's psychotic to give the Houthis a peace prize. That's
why?
But then again, I mean, a MAGA body, but you look at his legs, fucking chicken legs, bro. Bro skips leg day every day. His look gives off one vibe, but when you hear his voice, it tells you his true feelings. Honestly, I think he's overall pretty well spoken. he's over, like, he's a liar, he's a snake, he's a, you know, slithering piece of shit. But he has a pretty good voice, and he is overall well spoken. He talks clearly. He makes good points while lying, like to the point where it's like, if you're super like unaware of anything, you could believe him, right? And he talks with conviction when he talks to the camera, not with another person, right? So like, there are good things about, like, good things, you know, like good, you know, stuff that like you would want as a speaker. But yeah, he's a piece of shit that lies all the time. So it's like, whatever, like, it doesn't really matter.
What have they done for peace other than kidnap innocent civilians? What have they done for their own populace? As you said, the poorest country on earth.
That is
what
a
are they doing
direct
for
material.
peace?
The Houthis have.
What does this have to do with the river to the sea?
Material consequences for Israel as it has implemented a genocide.
All right, let's give them a peace prize. Whatever, I don't care. Let's give them a peace prize.
I think they deserve it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. The Houthis deserve a peace prize, bro. I know this has been covered like multiple times, but like, and I've seen like clips of it, and I have never gotten to this point. But god damn, bro, I'm hearing the stream. Don't forget, if you close your eyes, is well spoken by high-pitched voice. Too much to type. I'll have to explain to you later, but just basic about. No. I understand what you are saying. I'm just saying that's like for most people listening to him. And again, you're listening to him in a confrontation when he's like confronting Ethan. If you listen to his regular streams, right, where he talks normally, where he doesn't confront anyone and he's just talking to a camera, there's a lot that you can learn from him as like a public speaker, for sure. Okay. Yeah, when he's confrontational, yeah, he's like I said, he's a coward.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah. Wait, also,
don't ask the unaffiliated prisoners who were held for a year, though, if they do.
No, I don't. I think you're missing the broader point here. You're missing the forest for the trees.
Right.
Here, I'll give you a great example of this, by the way, because you spent a lot of time being like, the Houthis are bad. They're homophobic. I'm like, I'm sure they are. Holy shit. Also, Dan, it keeps switching back to me on my end. Sorry.
Let's talk about the issue of the Nakba and stuff.
Okay, hold on. I know you keep...
I am playing in 1.5, yeah. I'm playing 1.5, yeah. Because, bro, like, it's fucking 5 hours. Okay? It's like I'll never get through it if I played like 1.0.
Saying, oh, it doesn't matter, this is boring whenever you come across
it's irrelevant, you have to admit, and you just talk and talk. It makes the video unwatchable.
You said the Houthis are barbaric, they're homophobic, they hate women, all this shit, right? And I'm sure a lot of that is correct. Of course it is. It is the fucking poorest nation on the planet, and all of this.
You're saying he has a high-pitched voice because it's sped up and all that stuff. I honestly look, I can make it like 1.0. He still has like that, like little cowardice moments where you hear him when he's like confronted with a point he can't defend.
Fucking death and destruction. This doesn't justify having that sort of opinion, of course.
See, like, for example,
the fucking poorest nation on the planet, and all
Talk
it is known
is
fucking death and destruction. This doesn't justify.
This part. This doesn't justify, and then he says it again in a different tonality.
This doesn't justify having that.
Right, like there's like the tonality shift, right? So like he still does it. Like it still happens here and there.
That sort of opinion, of course, but it certainly understands.
It's like it doesn't justify, and then it's like it doesn't justify. Like kind of like, you know, like you have like that. I forgot what it's called, but it's like you go into like it feels like, and then it's like, oh wait, and then go straight down. He just said they should get a fee price after seeing that they're homophobic.
Don't you think? Certainly is part of the point.
A peace prize, I'm assuming. Fee price? I'm assuming you're saying a peace prize, right? But he's agreeing that they're like, oh yeah, there's some homophobia happening there. It's like some homophobia. Throwing people off of rooftops, stoning them to death. Just a tiny bit of homophobia, yeah.
And the best possible way to probably get them to have a civil rights movement to give gays rights would probably be to stop fucking bombing them, as Joe Biden did, and as Donald Trump has done.
Yeah, that wasn't my chief criticism. Man, again, my criticism is that they are kidnapping civilians.
Yeah, I know. You don't like their methods, but
by the way, you would think if you have bigger problems than homophobia, because like I love this argument of like, well, they don't have time to deal with civil rights, such as like letting you know, gays be gays. They don't have the time to deal with that, you know, with that social issue because they're busy in war. Wouldn't you say that because they're busy at war, maybe they shouldn't have time to throw gays off of rooftops? Now, wouldn't that make more sense? Like, fuck it, people want to be gay, whatever. We have bigger problems to deal with. Let people fucking be gay. I don't care, right? It's like they can like, you know, go to the trenches and fuck each other on their breaks. I don't give a shit, but we need to win this war, okay? That would be a more rational thing. But instead, it's like, well, we're gonna waste our time throwing gays off of rooftops because, well, we are too busy to deal with this social issue. What? That wastes more time. Just being like, okay, cool, be gay, whatever. We'll deal with it later. For now, do whatever you want, but as long as you're coming to the war, like, we're fine, right? Like, I think that would make a bit more sense. No, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but like, I feel like, you know, that would make more sense. Also, what is so Iran is not currently in an active war, right? What does Iran do to LGBT people? Makes sense to you because you're rational? Yeah, I'm sorry, it's my bad. In Iran, LGBTQ+ people face several legal and social persecution. The government forces strict Islamic laws that criminalize same-sex relationships and expressions of non-heteronormative identities. Heteronormative identities. Here's a breakdown of how. Okay. And sexual activity is illegal. Okay, cool. Transgender individuals can legally transition and even receive government. Whoa. This is not out of progressive support, but rather because gender transition is seen by authorities as a correction rather than acceptance. Okay. Gay or lesbian identities are not recognized. Okay, so you can be trans, but you can't be gay or lesbian. So if you want to be gay in Iran, you have to first go through a gender transition, and then you can be gay. You can be gay with extra steps, but you can't be gay. And due to its Olympic champions that speak out against, well, I mean, that's a whole other story, right? You can't speak against the Islamic government. But anyway, so it's like, yeah, so Iran is not in an active war. Doesn't Iran have time to deal with homosexuality? I do find it funny that you can be gay with extra steps, but you can't be like straight up gay. That I find that kind of hilarious. It's like, hey, I'm a guy, I want to fuck guys. Well, you're going to have to turn to a woman first. That's interesting.
No alternative method.
I said just do it without kidnapping civilians, dude. It's not rocket science.
Let's get back to the IDF. You said the IDF is maybe not a terror organization, but the IDF is a terror organization.
I didn't say that. Wrong.
Through and through.
Wrong.
No, Ethan Leary said, it's like, okay, you can consider the IDF, to make his point, he said, you can consider the IDF as a terror organization. He already said this in this argument, like about, like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes ago.
Again, a liar.
Okay, so you think the IDF is a terror organization?
I said yes.
You believe the IDF?
I think it's fair to characterize them that way.
Okay. Your wife was in the IDF.
Yeah.
Do you believe your wife is a terrorist?
Of course not.
You have considered a 19-year-old Yemeni TikToker who is not even a part of the Al-Houthi family with no Houthi affiliation, but simply a person that says he
It is fucking twisted. It's very fucking twisted.
Stands with the Houthis, and I do too, a terrorist over and over again because he has a gun in the second highest gun ownership density per capita.
This is like the funniest argument that people say. It's like, oh, he's not a Houthi. He's just a kid, a Yemenis kid. And it's like, okay, how does a random Yemenis 18, 19-year-old have access to the civilian kidnapped sailors? How does, like, dude, as an army man, when I was in the IDF, I would not have random access to terrorists that were captured and put in prison. I would not have the access to it. Okay, this is a special permission thing. How does a random civilian have access to people that were kidnapped? Does Ethan make that conclusion? Bro, honestly, like I said, I don't agree with Ethan about pretty much anything. I just think that he's just not as bad as Hassan, but he's still pretty fucking bad. Okay, but so yeah, like it is. Because again, if you believe. Here's the thing, right? If you believe that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza, which is already like not true, but if you believe that, then everything else is justified from that point of view. Israel is a terror state, IDF is a terror organization. I understand the logic. Yeah. Well, 19-year-old kid, he's still a teen, right? Technically. So that's what I'm saying, right? So it's like if you think that Israel is committing genocide, then you can rationalize that Israel is a terror state and IDF is a terrorist organization. I understand the logic. I'm saying that the premise is incorrect to begin with.
And because he responded to a fucking Instagram comment saying he's a soldier, a dude who doesn't even speak English.
Let's watch
this. You kept claiming that he was a terrorist over and over again.
Wait,
his name.
Wait. Why does he have to speak English? What does that even matter? Oh, the dude doesn't even speak English. Yeah, because he wasn't educated to speak English. He was educated to shoot a gun, right? And yell Ansar Allah. Allahu Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar.
Is Rashid al-Haddad. He is not even a fucking Zaidi Shia. He's not even a part of the Houthi family.
Let's watch the evidence.
Family, his last name would be al-Houthi, not al-Haddad. Okay.
Let's watch the evidence.
This person, you looked at a 19-year-old fucking teenager who's a TikToker,
terrorist,
in the poorest country on the planet, who's only
whatever. Yeah, it's for military purposes, he's a man. For Western values, he's still a kid because we have 30-year-old kids. I mean, shit, I'm a 38-year-old child, right? So I mean, it's understandable.
known death and destruction and spent.
Single committing murder gets adult punishment. This is true. Yeah, but again, it's still a teen, and like honestly, let's be real. We had, dude, when I was in the IDF, I was 19, and we had 18-year-old. Like I was in the group, like my platoon was like 18-year-olds and some 19-year-olds, and we were calling each other kids. Like realistically, right? We were calling each other like Yeled, you know. Yeled does it, and it's like, bro, it's your age, right? And you call him Yeled, right? So you know, it's like. It's just a saying, obviously, but yeah.
Countless fucking hours looking through whatever his social media was to be like, this guy is bad.
Let's look at it.
Yeah, of course he's fucked up. He lives in goddamn Yemen.
Do you know what the bigotry of low expectations is?
Like you, dumbass.
Do you know what the bigotry of low expectations is? You're saying because he's poor, he hates Jewish people? Let's watch. Ready?
No,
let me show you.
It's not because he's poor that he hates Jewish people. It's because he lives in fucking Yemen. And in that part of the world, the only thing that people see is the dangerous conflation of Zionism and Judaism.
I'm sure
the fighter jets that blow up their fucking schools have a Star of David.
Okay, they're not talking about law right now. They're talking about perception, right? It's like you look at a 19-year-old, you call him a kid. Let's be real. I work with a 21-year-old, I call him a kid, okay? Everyone I work with is treating him like a kid because he's a kid, he's 21, right? Obviously, by law, no, you're an adult.
To them. And when the Palestinians are kidnapped, when they're fucking forced to go through military trial detention, they get fucking Stars of David carved on their heads.
By the way, like what he's saying, I'm actually I agree with him. If you are born in Yemen and like you are indoctrinated by Houthis, which is, by the way, if you are born in Gaza and you're indoctrinated by Hamas at an early age, you are brainwashed or whatever, programmed, whatever you want to call it, to hate the Jew. So it's like, yes, to an extent, I'm not going to blame him for being anti-Semite if that is all he was taught, right? Especially if like he's living in a poor country where like you can't really get a whole lot of international information, and you just have, you know, your information that you're given, right? But as I always say, every villain has a sob story. Just because he's taught this. Like, what am I supposed to do as a Jew? He comes to kill me, and I'm like, oh, I understand, you were taught wrong, so it's fine, I'll accept my death. I don't give a shit that he was taught this. This is not my problem. Like, it's just, what are we talking about here? It's like, oh, well, of course he'll be anti-Semite. Okay. So he's innocent because that's all he knew? What? Like that doesn't absolve him of his crimes.
Israel is the one that dangerously
it's not his fault, but like, hey, bad spawn RNG. What can I say?
Claims to be the nation state of Jews. Israel is the one that makes everybody think that this action, all of the action, the genocide that you called a genocide, is actually being done at the behest of Jews.
That's not true.
Of course, for everyone in that side of the fucking world, when they say Jew, it's interchangeable.
No. They're not attacking Gaza or Palestine at the behest of Jews. They're doing it to defend fucking Israel. What? What is he talking about?
With Israel, many of these people, including
he's like Anne Frank?
What?
Do you think he's like Anne Frank?
bro, you're gonna love this. Yo, Mark, you're gonna love this. I don't know if you heard this, but you're gonna love this part. You better be listening to this part very carefully.
Oh, of course, absolutely. He has withstood genocide. He has withstood genocide by the Saudi government. Of course I do. I think that talking to, but my point that I was fucking presenting.
Anne Frank is famous for being a pacifist and seeing the good in people despite a fucking Holocaust that took every member of her family but her dad. That's why she's inspiring. This guy went on Twitter and said, fuck Jewish people. Would you think Anne
Frank would be less inspiring if she somehow was able to get out?
If she was like, I want to kill Germans and hang them, yeah.
And took up arms against the Nazis? Would you say that Anne Frank is bad for that? Say Anne Frank is bad for that, Ethan.
For something that didn't happen?
Anne Frank would be bad if she took up arms against the violent Nazi occupation. Say it.
It wouldn't be the same, for sure.
It wouldn't be the same.
She's famous for being a pacifist and seeing the good in people despite living through a Holocaust. You understand that? That's not what. Let me show you.
Anne Frank would not be as important of a figure if that is not the message that she had. Would she be justified to fight back against the Germans? Yes, but then she wouldn't be known as Anne Frank. She would be known as just another child that defended herself, right? Like it wouldn't be special, right? Like that's stupid, bro. This Houthi guy, sorry, he's not a Houthi apparently. He's just some Yemenis kid that has access to civilian hostages, but he's not a Houthi. Like, he's the same as Anne Frank, bro. Now, do I believe that the Anne Frank message was, flowered up and like I don't know if changed necessarily, but like dramatized more than it actually was or something like that? Who is he comparing Anne Frank to? So there's this Houthi kid that went on Hassan Piker's Twitch, and they had a conversation, and he's just this Houthi kid who Hamas Piker thought was a terrorist, so that's why he was interviewing him. But turns out he's not actually one of the terrorists. He's just a Yemeni kid who somehow also had access to civilians that were kidnapped, and he is also in support of killing all of the Jews, right? So he compares this kid to Anne Frank. Yeah. Now, do I believe that the story about Anne Frank was a bit dramatized and like bigger than it actually is? Maybe, but I think the message of what Anne Frank stands for, like, I don't know if the person, but like what the whole thing about Anne Frank, what it stands for, is that even in the harshest times, even though she went through the Holocaust and eventually died in the Holocaust, she still believed in the good in people. It's more about the message, not so much about the person. Okay, that's why she's considered like a hero. Anne Frank is propaganda, I'm sure. They had million journals of Jewish girls that they found. Yeah, 100%. Is it propaganda? For sure. But the message of that propaganda is what matters, not so much the person, right? And saying that this kid who believes in the destruction of Israel, death to all the Jews and all that stuff, that he's similar to Anne Frank. Let's be real, okay? Like... No, it's not. No, it's not. Like, in what way is his message anywhere similar to what Anne Frank stands for? Like, that's just stupid.
Do you think that if Anne Frank took up arms against the Nazi occupation,
Israel isn't occupying Yemen anyway?
What?
Israel's not occupying Yemen.
Israel isn't, but for
Also
every
true.
single country in this region, American imperialism is all
say the
they
Saudis.
have known.
You said this. Why don't they say death to Saudi Arabia on their flag? Why is it Jews? Why is it damn the
They're
Jews?
directly fighting Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
What are you talking
you see
about?
the Star of David.
Wait, if they're directly fighting Saudi Arabia, why do they wish death to Israel? Why don't they wish death to Saudi Arabia? Why are they fighting Israel when their real enemy is Saudi Arabia? That's actually a pretty good point. Why the fuck? And again, I made this point earlier in the video. Why the fuck are you fighting? Again, where's the... Yeah, that was the one. That was the one. Not this. Why are you fighting from here to here when your real enemy literally shares a border with you? Why aren't you fighting? Like, I know they are fighting. They're shooting rockets at Saudi Arabia too. Why the fuck are you fighting Israel right now when like you're literally fighting on 3 fronts? Like, how stupid are you as a Houthi, right? You're fighting on 3 fronts. You're fighting your own people, civil war. You're fighting Saudi Arabia that supports the other side of the civil war, and then you're also trying to fight Israel. Which, by the way, sorry, not 3 fronts, 4 fronts, because now you also have the U.S. as your enemy because you're attacking U.S. fucking ships. Okay, how fucking retarded are you as the Houthi leader to do this? And I get it. It's not them making the decision. Iran is telling them what to do. But goddamn, you're so fucking retarded to do this. You're fighting on 4 fronts. You are so fucking retarded.
Of course they hate Jews. What about why does their flag say death to fucking Israel and damn the Jews?
Their flag
Curse
says
the
death
Jews.
to America, death to Israel, a curse upon the Jews.
Damn the Jews.
By the way, I just don't understand. Hamas Piker is a fucking millionaire, okay? Why does he live in the US if he hates it so much? Like, he can propagandize against the US from a different country. He doesn't have to live in the US to propagandize. Plus, he's a socialist. Why don't you go live in a socialist country and propagandize against the US that is a capitalist country? And I know his argument is like, well, I just want to change it. Saudi Arabia and they are Muslims. A Jew is always a bigger enemy than a Muslim. It's that mentality, you against me, you and me against him, and me and him against them, etc. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious why they hate the Jew. I'm just saying that it's kind of odd that they hate the Jew in this scenario kind of thing. You know, it's like the hate against the Jew is so strong that like they are willing to fight on 4 fucking fronts. But yeah, why does Hassan fucking live in the US? If you hate the US, you are a millionaire, you are a socialist, and you want the US to change, you can do this from outside the US. You don't have to live in the US and support them with your tax money, right? Like, you giving tax money to the US, you're effectively supporting the US. So go give your tax money to, like, some socialist country, I don't know, go to Switzerland, some shit like that, and propagate all you want against the US there. Why are you propagating against the US inside of the US? You're just asking for fucking trouble, right? Plus, you're a fucking hypocrite because you believe in socialism, meanwhile you're selling merch, so you're a fucking capitalist, right? Like, it's so fucking stupid. You work for Amazon, can be a millionaire in a socialist country? He can, he's already a millionaire. So it's like, you know, he's already a millionaire, so it's like, you can be, right? If you start off in a socialist country, you're not going to be a millionaire. But if you're already a millionaire in a socialist country, you're already a millionaire in a socialist country. You're not going to be not a millionaire, you know? It's like that's how socialism works. Like, it's a class system, not an equality system. As long as he makes the right connections, that is, right? But yeah, why do you live, like, I don't know, like, the biggest problem with Hassan is his hypocrisy. I'm a socialist, but I have a capitalistic business of merch, right? I hate America, but I live in America and I give them my money, and like, fucking, he lives in California, so he's getting like, what, 50% of his earnings to the state. Just say, like, the hypocrisy is fucking baffling. The irony, the hypocrisy, whatever you want to call it.
Kind of gauche, not acceptable, not appropriate by Western standards. But if you listen to Norm has a clip on that too. Norm has a clip on that too. Do you want to see?
No, let me show you this, because you've been going on and on.
Finkelstein explain that?
No, I want to show you this. Okay, you've been talking. Very good. Let's watch this.
Do you condemn the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, Ethan?
You got to stop.
Do you condemn the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising?
I'm gonna play this video. Okay. He says, ready for maybe I read
sacrifice and eager for martyrdom. Maybe he's talking about football? Here he is singing a song with the words, do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew? Meaning of Houthi is a title, and it's not something to fear, but for the Jews. They are very afraid of this title. The execution we will carry out on all Zionists, with the lovely depiction of a man impaled through his asshole and out of his mouth with a pike, or how Hassan likes to...
This is the guy that is compared to Anne Frank, by the way. If you had any questions, who is he compared to Anne Frank? That's the guy.
Say it, a pike for a cup. Okay, why would he retweet this article called Houthis use social media to boost global prominence and support? Israel falls. Wait for the new operation in Tel Aviv, the Jaffa drone, which no Israeli defense can stop. The ships we bombed and sank. I know the red arrow is supposed to be a cool military Hamas thing. This is a butt plug. Just saying. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and Zionist is clearly interchangeable to this guy. Okay, but hating Jews doesn't make you a Houthi.
Did he just agree that it is?
State the obvious. Jew and Zionist is clearly interchangeable to this guy. Okay, but hating Jews doesn't...
Literally just made the argument against him. If Jew and Zionist is interchangeable, means any Jew means a Zionist, and he's supporting them, it just says that he supports the death of all Jews. And like I said before, many times before, if Hamas Piker had a button on his desk that would instantly kill all of the Jews in the world, he would go on stream and do it live. He would even do a countdown for it. He would make a big event out of it to kill all the Jews. But make no mistake, he would gladly kill all the Jews.
Does it make you a Houthi? Are you a soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive.
Why did he say yes? Are you a soldier?
Bro, he doesn't even fucking speak English. You're like, oh, he's a soldier. Wait, even if he is,
even if he is, that doesn't mean he's a Houthi.
You a question very clearly and very deliberately. If Anne Frank,
just like Anne
posted,
Frank, by the way.
if Anne Frank, if we had the internet during the time of the Holocaust, and Anne Frank posted about this is what we're going to do to the Nazis, would your analysis of Anne Frank change even a little bit, even an iota?
Yes, of course it would, because she's famous for being a pacifist, not tweeting out death to all Zionists. She's famous for seeing the good in people, not fucking tweeting out that we want to nuke Israel. What do you mean?
One, because I would not give a fuck. I would be loud and proud, going, "Hey, that's what she said. That's what we're gonna do to the Nazis. Fuck yeah, girl."
So after watching that
again, just because you're gonna support her ability to defend herself and kill Nazis, the whole point is that her message would not be as strong as believing in pacifism. That's all it is. Like, she won't be a peace-loving person if she's willing to take war. What's that movie? What's his name? Spider-Man 3 actor. No. Oh, Amazing Spider-Man, actually. Garfield or whatever, man. Spider-Man. movie cast. What's his name? Andrew Garfield. Yeah. Andrew Garfield movie War Medic. Okay, so is that the one? Yeah, I think it's Hacksaw Ridge. Sounds familiar. Okay, so Hacksaw Ridge, where the movie is about a pacifist. What do you call it? Like, he was just rescuing people, right? I think it's because of this person that they started having like actual medic staff in wars, basically. Like, he saved more lives than killed, something like that, whatever. Now, technically, I believe that like if you kill more people, you're gonna save more lives, right? But the message still stands. The reason this story is inspiring and all that stuff is because he chose, I will not kill, but I will save as many people as I can. Okay, that, like, if he was just another soldier shooting people, no one would know about this guy. No one would care because he would just be more of the same. The reason Anne Frank's story is so fucking moving to people and whatever, like, I personally, I never really gave a shit, right? But like, I understand why the Anne Frank story is so appealing, is even if it was propagandized, changed around, whatever, the message of it is that even in the worst fucking conditions where your life is constantly at risk, any day could be your last, you still believe in the goodness in people, the kindness, and that most people would want peace and not war. That is the message. That is what's unique about this, right? That is why that story is known versus like, well, if Anne Frank was fucking like, you know, put on like a rocket launcher on her back and went out there with the, you know, 2 M16s and like fucking ramboed the Nazi army, which by the way would be pretty interesting game to make. You know, Anne Frank comes out of hiding, kills a Nazi soldier, takes his gun and starts killing all the Nazis, eventually killing Hitler. Yo, somebody get on that game, okay? It would not make her a very interesting character compared to, like, I mean, unless she actually did do that and get to Hitler, she would be a very interesting character, but not as interesting as like a peace-loving person in the worst fucking conditions and still wanting peace and like and love and all that shit, like all the hippie stuff, you know.
Compilation, you still agree that he's just like Anne Frank?
Did you not hear what I asked you?
I'm just summarizing.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Anne Frank died before she could resist. But if she did, I would never hold that against her.
She was fucking killed in a concentration camp, you
exactly.
psychopath.
But if she did,
she died before she could resist. At what point was she going to resist, bro? She should have just hit better, bro. Honestly, this is the argument most people have. She should have just hit better. It's her fault for dying, actually.
Exterminated with her whole fucking family. Her dad's the only one that survived and recovered her journal. Are you fucking mad?
Either, Ethan, right? Would you hold that against her? Would you hold that against her?
I wouldn't hold it against her, but she wouldn't be the same historical like figure that said, despite my family being killed in a concentration camp and everyone being murdered, I'm still a pacifist that sees the good in people. What the fuck what's so confusing about that? Not kill Zionists, not nuke Israel, not a pike through Zionist assholes.
I can't believe we're once again discussing the posts of a dude in Yemen
you
who
really
is
like to
19
do that.
fucking years old.
Well, you said he's not a...
The deflection. I can't believe we're talking about this. Why am I defending a guy who I only talk to? Because first of all, you were glazing him. Second of all, that is the fucking argument. What the fuck? Like, yeah, the reason you're discussing it because you're the one who defends him. If you stop defending him, there will be no discussion.
A Houthi. You mean you went on and on and on and on about how he's just some random fucking innocent kid that you platformed and blazed the fuck up, by the way. Which is, by the way, just terrible journalism. Like, you have KFC in Yemen? Is that the fucking best question you have for someone who's apparently surviving a genocide in Yemen, who's been with the crew of kidnapped hostages, who's apparently partied with the captives? You say, is there KFC in Yemen? Are you fucking kidding me? Just insane. But hold on, besides being like wrong, it's insanely incompetent.
We're going clip for clip. Can you please play this? It's from my subreddit.
Sure. Give me a sec. Dan's got to pass it to me. Okay, after this, please, we got to move on to the Nakba thing.
Yeah. Every single victim of Israeli or American violence has to be a pacifist.
Okay, do you want me to watch this? I mean, what the fuck, bro? It's 4 minutes, so I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but I'll watch like a minute or 2 minutes, okay? No,
we, the Yemenis, extend our hand in peace. I mean, dude, again, Islam is the religion of peace. When everyone will fall under Islam, there will be peace. It is a religion of peace. When there are no humans alive in the world, there will be peace too. You know, there's many versions of what peace is, okay? So, yeah, we, the Yemenis, extend our hand in peace. Yeah. The hand that has, a knife coming out of it to stab you in the heart. And once you're dead, there will be peace. Because why does it matter if you live or die in this world? There's the next world. So this world will be in peace because you will not live in it, but you will be in the next world. So it's all good, bro. It's all good.
This is like shot like by a fucking like propagandist. What are you talking about? Like he's all fucking dolled up. He's got makeup on. The lighting is perfect. Yeah, he's like, guys, please, we love the Jews. Give me a break. Our problem is not with the Jews,
like a
guys.
big man, buddy, dunking on a fucking.
Wait. Our problem is not with the Jews. Our enemies are the Zionists. Meanwhile, he kept interchangeably using Jew and Zionist. So the one time he's not using Jew and Zionist is the one time that you should take him at his word. But every time he is using them interchangeably, that's not when you should take him at his word. Right.
19-year-old living in Yemen, you pick and choose what you think. You pick and choose what you think is appropriate.
Well, what do you think about all the shit I showed you? Which do you think he believes, this or that?
I think he believes both.
He believes both. He believes that death to the Jew, and he also believes that we are not the enemy of Jews, just the enemies of Zionists. Yeah. No, makes sense.
This is not.
He both believes the Jews are our friends, and also we need to murder them all. He believes the Jews are our friends, and we need to murder them all. Is that correct?
The problem is you conflate.
No, he said Jews. He and tweets said this is what we're going to do to Jews.
From a Western perspective, for them, when they talk about Israel, they sometimes reflect
and
it as
that's the Jews'
Jews.
fault, right?
But listen to me.
You're blaming the victim.
Because in that interview that I conducted with him, I asked him about how he felt about Jews, anti-Zionist Jews specifically.
I remember.
And he said he loves them.
That is such a lie. You're such a liar.
You don't know this person.
I watched it. That's not what he said, though. He said if they support Palestine, then I like them. He didn't. You're lying. You're just lying. You're lying about what he said. You're lying. I've seen that interview. You're lying. He didn't say that. He said if they support Palestine, then that's good. What? That's what he said. It's a fucking materially way different than I love Jews. What the fuck you said?
No, you didn't hear my. You just repeated what
Go ahead,
I said.
What'd you say?
I said love, but I think he didn't. I guess he didn't say love.
What did he say? Hold on.
He said like.
What did you say? He said.
I said that I don't care what anyone's background is. I love them. Jew, Christian, Muslim, doesn't matter. If you are against Israel, I love them. That's what I said.
That's not
no
what you
problem
said.
with Jews who are pro-Palestine.
That's nowhere close to what you said.
Dude.
Well, you realize you're wrong. You got caught in a lie, so you're revising. It's fine. All right, let's move on to the Nakba thing.
Dude.
It's like caught in a lie. Okay, moving on. Caught in a lie, moving on. Caught in a lie, moving on. It's like he's literally like he's just like looking for where he's caught in a lie and just move on. Caught in a lie, move on. Caught in a lie, move on. Like it's fucking great.
I don't care.
We gotta move on, bro.
Ethan, listen to my words very carefully. If he had told me, okay, I hate all Jews unconditionally, I am an anti-Semitic person.
He did tweet stuff like that.
The conversation would go very differently. But even then, I probably wouldn't be as vicious as you literally said that on social media, or you want me to be, because I understand the material conditions and what plays a role in people's recognition of the world.
Nobody.
What's a curse on the Jew? Doesn't say Zionist Jew. It doesn't say any Israelite. Like no, it's just like sorry, not Israel. Like doesn't say like an Israel inhabiting Jew. It doesn't say only Jews that don't like Palestine. Not Jews that are occupiers. None of that. It's just pox upon the Jew. Well, curse upon the Jew. But yeah.
Here's what Jews. He said, "I'm gonna shove my gun and kill Jews."
What? No, he didn't say that.
I'll play it again. You want me to play it again?
Oh, God. Okay, dude. You just play the fucking clip then. God damn it. Just play the clip. He said Zionist, but play the fucking clip, Ethan.
Yeah. I'll play it.
Play the clip I sent you without fucking complaining.
No,
He's dolled up.
Well, you want me to watch your clip? I thought, no, we're going to watch my clip.
No, play the fucking clip I sent
you. By the
you.
way, I don't know if this music's claimed, by the way. We can. It does matter, unfortunately. You're on Twitch where stealing content is fucking regular, but on YouTube there's standards.
It's like another shot, just a little shot at Twitch a bit. By the way, I love that on Twitch you can just like play whatever music you want, and then like on the replay would just like silence that part of the video, which is fucking great. I love it because there's like nobody rewatches videos on Twitch anyways, realistically. So like rewatches streams. On YouTube though, however, they just instantly shut down your fucking stream when there's a copyright.
Yeah, God forbid someone might copy strike you, and then their lawyers might demand erroneous.
Which you admitted is sometimes warranted. Where's the link
Mr. Fair Use? Mr. Fair Use.
Yeah. Do you know what fair use is? You fucking moron. It's using it fairly. There's a big difference between.
No, I know. Fair use is.
Yeah, Hassan doesn't know what fair use is because he just puts on a video and walks away, and he thinks that's fair use.
When you get mad at Redditors criticizing you, so you fucking get your
high-powered attorney to fucking
sue them and make demands about how they have to
fair use,
release information about their
about their allegiance. Let me play this for a minute, and then we'll move on.
All right, play.
This is the most pathetic terrorist propaganda bullshit I have ever seen, and the fact that you actually think this is credible is so hilarious to me.
Dude,
wow. Let's keep it going. No, I love this. This is great.
All right, just keep playing it. Keep playing it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying. I don't know where the audio went. Oh, why was it? Sorry, hold on.
I pulled it back up.
Taylor Lorenz tweeted, "What's so crazy is that we tried to
I did not say that I hate Jews, but I hate every Zionist who kills children, even if he is a Muslim and does what Israel does. We will all be against him. Oh, nice. Oh, he's such a good person. He is like Anne Frank after all.
I have an interview with Rashad, the Yemeni teen who went viral for WAPO before Hassan the Hun got the scoop. Ethan continues to chastise Hassan for legitimate journalism and an interview that half of MSM was chasing.
Well, first of all, Taylor Lorenz is a fucking hack loser who's obsessed with you, okay? Of course she would say that. She, by the way, True. What was legitimate? Name one question you asked him that represents legitimate journalism.
Okay.
One question.
Great question. What do you feel about anti-Zionist Jews leading many of the anti-Israel protests in the United States of America?
That's your most important journalistic question, which he basically said.
No, you asked me one. I gave you one.
I don't think that. I mean, I find that to be insignificant, especially considering his answer. No follow-up questions. Why don't you ask him why don't you ask a follow-up question like, do you not care if they're Zionist Jews? That they're Israeli Jews that support you?
I don't give a fuck if he cares if there's Zionist Jews or not.
What about?
It's the whole point of being a journalist. You're a journalist. It's not so much what you care about; it's what your audience would care about. Like it's like fucking bringing out the truth. Like I mean that's what I think journalism should be. Obviously not modern journalism, but it's like your whole point is like to explore the person and see what they feel about multiple things regarding the subject that you're exploring. Okay, asking one question and then the rest of it is like fucking telling him that he's like Luffy from One Piece and glazing him up to be like this whatever. That's not journalism.
What was the hard-hitting part about asking if he likes One Piece? Was that hard-hitting journalism?
No, it was called humanizing.
It was called cringe as fuck, lazy, pathetic.
Yeah, because you don't like when a fucking brown person gets a little bit of airspace and they look like a human being.
So you're resorting to calling me racist now. By the way, this dude's white as fuck. What are you talking about?
Ethan.
This dude's whiter than I am. What the fuck are you talking about, dipshit? Hold on, you accuse me of being racist. Are you talking about this guy?
Gotta love when Hassan does that. It's like, oh, you're just racist. It's literally like the left's defense mechanism just kicks in. It's like, oh, you're a racist, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, transphobe, homophobe. Just fucking like, I have a set of words that I have to use when I'm being attacked, and like I don't have anything to say, so I'm just gonna blame him for being like whatever as an ism.
Are you talking about this?
Your wife is a part of the IDF. Do you think it's appropriate to call your wife a terrorist?
I think you do. No, I don't.
You don't think it's appropriate?
No.
Okay. You have stated time and time again that you believe, to show how pro-Palestine you are, that you believe settlers are valid military targets.
Right.
Who do you think is protecting the settlers who you claim
the
are
IDF
valid military targets?
Fucking insane.
In the process,
was
of
my wife out there
protecting? Doing?
Sorry, was Hila out there protecting settlers?
No, she was doing a night raid, as a matter of fact, and I didn't know any of this until recently, for the record, until a couple months ago.
Yeah, you're going to do the Raider of Ramallah snark bullshit? Go on. Yeah, your community doesn't harass anyone. She was 18 years old. She went on a ride-along to Ramallah for some kind
of... This is another argument that's like, even if you, like... Because, again, he's justifying the Houthis... hate, like a Houthi kid hate on the Jew because this is his education. What do you think, like when you're 18 years old in Israel, you're educated in hating Israel and that the IDF is a terrorist organization? Let's just assume that that is the argument that you're trying to make. That's like, if you're in the IDF, you're a terrorist. Okay, do you think the kids who grow up in Israel are going to think that the IDF is a terrorist organization? Probably not. Do you think that an 18-year-old's conviction of anything, even if they did think the IDF is a terrorist organization, whatever, do you think that their conviction, the majority of them, their conviction would be so strong that they would be willing to have it on their record that they went to jail, right, for not going to the military? Do you really think that that is something that vast majority of Jewish children would do, instead of just go to the army into like a practically inconsequential role like a fucking secretary? Okay? Like, let's be real here for a second. Like, this argument is just so stupid. Oh, he lies a terrorist because she wasn't the IDF. It's like, bro, and she could have refused to go to the IDF, a terrorist organization. First of all, when she went, was probably like early 2000s, okay? Internet wasn't much of a thing back then, just started picking up, okay? Her information network was extremely fucking small. So even if you can you want to consider IDF a terrorist organization, by the way, I do not. I'm just saying, making the argument that if you did, regardless of that, at 2000 and I don't know, like fucking maybe 2005, I think. I don't know her age, right? What's Hila Klein age? Okay, so she would go to the army in 2004, I believe. Okay, so in 2004, where the internet is just picking up and all that stuff, right? She went to the army as a fucking kid, right? Doesn't know anything about anything, right? She went into this terrorist organization, okay, not knowing anything, and the fear of not going to the military is much bigger than just going to the army and being a fucking secretary. Okay? And the argument being like, oh, well, she was bored as a secretary and she went on a night raid. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. She was bored of being a secretary. She wanted a bit more action. Oh my god, what a fucking terrorist. Did she shoot anyone? Did she participate in anything? Not really. She got shot at and ran away. Like, that's pretty much it, as far as I understand. But, like, to call her, like, straight up a terrorist because she went to the IDF, like, you guys are fucking retarded. Like, straight up.
Fucking mission. She stayed in the car, and then they went back, and that's all that happened. She's 18 years old, bro. She's a secretary.
Of taking someone hostage, you called him it, by the way. That person was a Palestinian living in his own fucking home, and your wife went on a raid to Ramallah, which you have called a terror city.
Yeah, that was an old clip. I don't think Ramallah is a terror city.
Okay, and his friend, the journalist, Hamas sniper, went on the October 7th raid, but he's a fucking hero. Got it. And he's a journalist who actively participated in this. Okay, knew that this is gonna happen, was actively there, recorded everything, right? Paraded the streets of the massacred girls, okay? But that guy is a hero. But Hila, who was practically an observer of a standard operation by the IDF, is now a terrorist. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. Even if we take your standards into account of like IDF is terrorist, okay? Even if we take that into account, how are you saying that Hamas is not? And how are you saying that the journalist that went with Hamas, who is actually a Hamas sniper, is also not worse? Literally, like, how is he not worse when he actively participated, took videos and everything? Okay, this asshole's dipshit, his friend, okay, who was with him in his room, and he interviewed him live.
Military target in that process because you've said that settlers are valid military targets. Do you think your wife is a valid military target? Do you think your wife is a terrorist?
She's not a West Bank settler.
Yeah, she's not a settler. What the fuck?
But she's in the West Bank. Where's Ramallah, Ethan?
Bad Empanada thinks she's valid. Your friends over at Second Thought think that she's a valid target.
Do you?
Hold on, his wife went on a raid to Ramallah to kidnap women and children, steal the house goods, burn down their homes, or did she go there to arrest a scumbag terrorist? Neither. She was a secretary. She was bored of her secretary job, so she asked her commander if she could join a night raid to see what that's about. That's it. She didn't actively participate because she was a secretary. I don't even think she had a weapon. So she was there literally as an observer. She's a terrorist apparently because of it. Because she observed somebody getting arrested.
Valid military target.
Do you think she's a valid military target? Do you think she's a valid military target?
I do not, as a matter of fact. I don't. Okay.
Right. Can we please move on to this the Napa thing?
Listen to me.
Hassan, bro, you're making this unwatchable.
Listen to me. Okay?
Oh, no.
Move on.
No, Ethan, I'm sorry. You're wrong. This is very watchable because he's losing his fucking shit over nothing.
How does this make sense in your mind? You say Israel is doing genocide. She has participated in the kidnapping of a Palestinian in the West Bank.
You don't know who was kidnapped and for what reason.
You say you hate the settlers.
Well, we don't know
who. And again, like, yeah, we don't even know who they kidnapped or arrested or whatever. Like, maybe he was a terrorist. Maybe he was a civilian that it was unjustified to kidnap. But you know who for sure also didn't know? Hila Klein didn't know anything at that time because she's a fucking secretary.
Who first of all, the settlers, Ethan? Your wife did.
Kidnapped. They arrested somebody. We don't know what happened.
Whether raiding and pillaging their villages or arresting people, she definitely had a weapon. You're a soldier first. Well, she was with the escort. I don't know. Like, she probably had a weapon. Yeah, maybe. Again, this is like, I'm assuming she joined the army in 2004. Basic training, all that stuff. That's half a year. Then a secretary. In order for her to get bored from being a secretary, that's probably 2005. At that point, and I also don't know her birthday, so it could even be like 2006, like almost 2 years into her term. And again, it depends on where she's a secretary. If she's a secretary in a non-combat zone, and which unlikely because if she's a secretary near Ramallah, she probably would be in something considered a combat zone. So yeah, she probably would have a weapon. Yeah, I doubt she shot it. I doubt she shot it regularly. But like. Because she's a secretary. She might have a weapon assigned to her, but she's practically never with it. right? Like I've been to the army. Like most of the girls like who are even competent, like only the girls who are competent have a weapon with them. No, she didn't do anything. I was working. My base was 700 meters from Gaza, and all the secretaries, the female secretaries, never fucking touched a weapon, ever. And this is like a pretty hot zone. Okay, literally like I don't remember how many like what the distance was, but like very close to where Gilad Shalit was that his name? I think so. Yeah, Gilad Shalit was kidnapped. Very, very close. Very hot zone. Very high defense con. Right. Dude, none of the females that were not combatant, which by the way is very like a very rare unit anyways, none of them were carrying a weapon. Except one because she liked it. She looked kind of cool. She was pretty fucking hot. I don't know what people in this position do on missions like these. Yeah, like they don't do shit. Okay, dude, so many women. We had like weapon training, like just like aiming and all that stuff, like going down Pozatsta and just fucking shooting and shit. So many girls, they had to do it because you just have to practice with your weapons. So many girls fucking cried whenever they shot the weapon, like it scared the living shit out of them. So many girls, more than 50%. Yeah, army girls. Well, they weren't even like army girls. They were like fucking on their weekend off, like right next to Egypt too. Yeah.
What they did. What if he fucking stabbed civilians? Doesn't that happen?
The process in which how people are arrested in the West Bank,
do Palestinian terrorists never stab and blow up civilians?
They're placed under military detention. They are not actually placed. They do not go through a civil court process.
Do Palestinian terrorists ever commit violence on civilians that weren't them being arrested?
They are not in the West Bank.
You don't know anything about this person or this raid.
True.
In Ramallah, in Palestinian territory, your wife was an illegal occupier of a terrorist organization, also known as the Israeli Occupying Force, Ethan. Now, I know people that also served in the Israeli Occupying Force, as a matter of fact. I've relied on breaking the silence.
By the way, her name is Hila. I don't know if you keep doing your wife. Why do you do that? Why do you keep referring to her as my wife? It's bizarre.
Okay, Hila, whatever, who cares?
It just belies some really bizarre thing. It's not random at all. It says a lot.
Listen to my words. Listen to my words. I have no issue with someone as long as they have recognized their mistakes, as long as they recognize that that was wrong. What I take issue with is consistently defending Israel. You have also participated in the defense of Israel. It makes no sense. You're inconsistent. You say it's a genocide, but people can't resist militarily. You say it's a genocide, but all the people who are outspoken are vile anti-Semites.
Hila was doing
supposed to be able to resist against this genocide? Do you actually think it's a genocide?
Hila was doing mandatory military service. What should she have done?
There's numerous options. One, religious exemption. Two, refusing to serve. But even then, I don't have a problem with her being...
And again, she's an 18-year-old, and the fear of not going to the army and going to jail is greater. Like, just the fear of not going to the army is greater than going to the army. And also, again, this is early 2000, right? Internet is just becoming the massive fucking unit that it is, okay? The notion that Israel or IDF is a terrorist organization is practically non-existent on the internet, okay? At what point do you think she would even if that was true, which I totally don't believe it's true, at what point do you think she, as a Israeli citizen, 18 years old, probably even 17 years old, okay, at what point would she even come to the conclusion that Israel or IDF is a terrorist organization that she shouldn't join? And at what point do you think she would have the conviction to refuse joining and preferring to go to jail for like 3 months or whatever it is for women? Okay, and because you go to jail and you don't serve, your job opportunities in Israel would drastically increase. Like, you are not getting promoted practically ever. Okay? So please tell me, at what point at 18 most people are still more scared of their parents than dying? Dude, 100%, bro. They keep saying that word occupiers, like they didn't conquer the whole Middle East. Some of the, I mean, I don't even want to go into that, like the whole history of fucking Islam, right? That they conquered basically all of the fucking Arab world right now. But the whole point is that's like, how, in what way are you, is your rationale saying that she was a terrorist supporter or whatever at those times, when at the same breath, your argument for why Houthis hate the Jews is because they grew up in Yemen, a poor country, and all they have been taught is to hate the Jews? You lot are delusional, ICL, no hate, but I don't see how you can take up these positions because I'm using my brain. That's pretty much how I'm taking this position. I'm using my rationale. I'm taking into account the information available in like 2004, 2005, when Hila would be going into the army, right? There is absolutely no position you can take that justifies your viewpoint on why Hila would be a terrorist. Absolutely none. Even if you consider IDF a terrorist organization, by today's standards. When they use that word, they're being hypocritical. Yeah, man, they're being retards. That's what they are.
Socially conditioned into thinking that this is appropriate. I have a problem with what she's saying now. I have a problem with how she reflects on that and doesn't realize that that was an unjustifiable thing.
She did a night raid. She observed a night raid. She is not, what do you call it? She's not a combatant. She's a fucking secretary. She had like very, very basic gun training that you have to go probably because she's in a hot zone. That's it. She didn't participate. She observed it as it was happening. That's it. And if you consider that a terrorist, then the reporters that went in with Hamas on October 7th are also terrorists, which, by the way, they are. I'm just saying that even if they were just reporters, then they're also terrorists, based on that logic. And any reporter that goes down to a Hamas hideout location and reports on them is also a terrorist. She had the option to be a conscientious objector. Do you think she would have the knowledge to do that? Do you think she would not have a bigger fear to not do that? Again, this is 2004, 2005. I don't know how old you are, but 2004, 2005, internet just started picking up. Israel was not known to all of the psychos as a terrorist organization, or IDF wasn't known as a terrorist organization, okay? This was not a common belief. This is a belief in 2025. Now, you're looking back 20 years and thinking like, oh, everyone knew that Israel and IDF is a terror organization. By the way, again, I disagree with. That is not the fucking understanding back in 2005 and 2004. Especially when you had the second intifada ending in 2003. What do you think? In 2001, okay, after 9/11, how many Americans were chanting death to Iraq? Like, realistically speaking, is America now a terrorist organization? Everyone who joined the army is a terrorist? Every citizen who was supporting it is now a fucking terrorist? No, you are hyper-focused on the tragedy that just happened. I'm not saying she's a terrorist. I'm not arguing with Hassan on this, but I'm saying she didn't do the right thing. If your opinion is that she didn't do the right thing, I can see you on that. I can agree with you to an extent on that. Because, again, we don't know any of the circumstances regarding the night raid and what was the purpose, who was the person. What I'm saying is, back in those days, your information network regarding what is right or wrong regarding these raids and all that stuff is extremely fucking limited. You do not have the internet. You do not have perspective of the world on the situation you're in. Okay, you only have your perspective. You're an 18-year-old. You just finished high school, and you don't have you don't even think about university. During high school, you're already taught to go to the military. That is the next right move for you to do. This is what you are, like, literally educated for, in a sense. Like, you're going to high school and you're going to the army. That is the standard. This is the normal thing. Telling an 18-year-old out of nowhere that's like, oh yeah, if you can resist going to the army, but you're gonna go to jail. Guess what? An 18-year-old that has been taught that the army is good, that it defends Israel, telling them that that if you don't want to go, you go to jail. Almost nobody choose jail. Okay, practically no one. At most, they choose like a religious exemption, or if she was married with a child, she would be exempt. Like, under all circumstances of her even joining the IDF, there is no point where you would be like, oh, well, she's a terrorist supporter because she joined the IDF at 18 years old when she doesn't even know anything else because the internet barely even exists at that point. Fuck, we were on dial-up till like 2002 or some shit like that. DSL just came out in like 2004 or 2003 in Israel. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but like, yeah, like YouTube wasn't even a thing. Okay, where is she gonna get the information that you guys have now in 2025 looking back? Go back to the Romans and tell them they did something bad. Yeah, you go to the army in Israel in order to defend not to go and fucking rape, pillage, or whatever. This is the ideology you have in your brain as an 18-year-old, 17-year-old in Israel. You're going there to defend your country, not to go and fucking destroy houses or whatever. So this whole argument of Hila being this and that is so stupid. If, again, I am okay with separating that Israel is wrong, in your opinion, that's fine. I'm not going to say Israel is right about everything, okay? There are wrong actions, that's fine. My point is, attacking Hila as a soldier in a machine is fucking retarded. And anyone who supports that, and anyone who thinks she deserves to be fucking hung because she was in a night raid or whatever, which we have no details on, right? We don't know who was raided, who they captured, what was the purpose of this? Was this a coincidence, or is this just or planned? We have practically no idea. We just know she said she went on night raid, and by the way, she could be lying to look cool back when she said it. We don't even know if this is true. There's absolutely no proof except her saying it, right? And to say that she deserves fucking death for it is fucking retarded. Now, what you think about Israel here is really doesn't really matter in the context of it being 2004, 2005 when she did it, right? And not knowing anything outside of her like network of information, which consistently is just Israel. Because the internet is not really a thing, nor the notion that Israel is a terrorist state is also not a thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not defending Israel in this situation. I'm defending her lack of knowledge on the situation. At the same time, she could easily come out against that and provide evidence. I'm not saying it's true and she deserves this and that. I'm just saying that all things considered, it seems a little suspicious, though it's innocent till proven guilty. Again, retrospecting 20 years into the past, everything can seem a little suspicious. We do not know any intricate detail, right? The context is 2003, the second intifada ended. There is a new zeal in people who live in Israel to go to the army, okay, to join the army, to defend the country after another active fucking engagement, okay? The message you're getting in the media and in your school and the things you're talking about is defending your country, right? This is the context of going into this, 2003, 2004. So, sorry for understanding her situation. Now, if she came out and said that it's like, yeah, and we beat the shit out of this guy that we arrested and was so fucking funny and cool, then I'll be like, okay, you're right. Because now she's looking at retrospect and saying we should have abused them more, right? Then I would agree with you. But just because she said that it's like, oh yeah, I was in Israel, I was secretary, I was bored of my job, and my commander let me go join them on a night raid. That doesn't give us any fucking information about any content of that operation at all. It's like, oh, she was bored as a secretary, so she went and terrorized somebody. That's like a fucking leap. That is such a leap. We don't even know if it was a patrol that something happened during. Right? Could have been just like a regular patrol that they heard something in a house and then they went and raided the house. Right? Like, we have zero fucking information about this case. But people like jump into conclusion, oh yes, she's a terrorist supporter. This fucked up, especially when she admits that Israel is committing a genocide. So clearly you know where her standards are.
Dude, okay, well,
that's my point.
You can talk to her, debate about it. I don't know what you're even referring to. Okay.
What?
I don't even know what the fuck you're referring to. You're just calling my wife a terrorist. Like, what? Give me a break, dude.
No.
She did mandatory.
She has talked
let me
on
ask
your
you a
podcast.
question. Hassan,
she's talked
please,
on your
you gotta
podcast
let me
about
talk.
how she went on a raid.
You have
she
to
was
let me
bored.
talk.
She
The
had a
fact that
secretary
you're just
job.
talking over me and being louder does not mean you're right. I promise.
What?
Being louder and talking more does not mean you're right. Okay. It's good to listen to what I have to say. She's part of mandatory conscription.
Did Hila not volunteer? Did Hila not volunteer to go to the West Bank on a raid because she was bored in Ramallah?
Yeah, she's 18. It's under.
It's not so much of a volunteer to go. First of all, the premise of this argument is already flawed because it's not like a volunteer to go on a raid in the West Bank. She would have to already be stationed in the West Bank to begin with, or somewhere in the area. You're not going to take a soldier that is stationed in Tel Aviv and be like, oh yeah, you want to come to the raid in fucking West Bank on the other side of the country? Let's do it. Other side, I mean like from west to east. Okay, because Tel Aviv is like on the west side. Sorry, on the west side, and then on the east side of Israel you have the West Bank. I know it's confusing, West Bank, because west of Jordan or whatever. Yeah, so it's completely on the other side. So she has to already be stationed somewhere in that region. So it's not like go on a raid in the West Bank. It's literally just go on a raid in the place you're already serving. It's not like she's going from... I feel it's a bit stupid to argue about her being a terrorist. At the end of the day, the only people who know about what happened that night are her and her squad. And honestly, you are right. And I would even bet you that even she doesn't have all the details of what happened if this person was a person of interest. She would know some stuff, but she wouldn't know everything. Nor why did they do the raid or stuff like that. Most of the time, it's like, hey, you guys are raiding this place. We have a suspicion of something, and that's it. Like, you don't have any more information. Like, it's like, this is not a commando unit. This is literally just like probably a regular checkup. Because if they knew this was going to be a hot engagement, I seriously doubt they would let a secretary with practically no combat experience join it. Okay? So the way I see it is that it was more than likely a patrol that turned into a night raid. Well, when unit she was with, we would know a lot. No, I don't think there's any. Let's see, maybe. What was Hila Klein's unit in the army? I doubt we will know. These are Defense Force, H3 Wiki. Let's see. I just need to concern the IDF. Bear knows the IDF. The National Military. Yeah, I don't think it says the unit number. Super boring, citing the monotony and long hours of the job. I mean, let's be real, yeah. She did get a job reassignment, no longer a 9-to-5 job, but a base deployment within the Dochifat battalion. Okay. Dochifat. Battalion, the Kfir Brigade. Okay, Kfir, not bad, honestly. 162nd Division. Yada yada. Okay, so she became a secretary for Kfir. As a corporal of the commander, acting as a corporal to the commander of the brigade. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Which she notes she preferred largely, feeling it was more of an adventure. The brigade operated in the illegally occupied territory of Ramallah in the West Bank, where, yeah, so the brigade was already operating there, right? But she was still a secretary. Participation in a night raid following her explicit request. This made for a heavily criticized anecdote due to, any information... Station is Terrorist City by her co-host and husband Ethan. Hila has later on voiced faint criticism for the way the Israel-Palestine conflict is handled. She was once again under scrutiny for denying that the IDF commits atrocities against Palestinians. Yeah, so we don't really have any information about the actual thing. At the end of the day, this is one of the times where a creator tries to make content by attacking another creator on something personal. Ethan did it, Hassan did it. That's why I hate online debates, because they get nothing done. You are right. However, I think this debate got a lot of shit done because it really shows... Yeah, it was more than likely a patrol, right, that turned into a night raid. It's a night patrol that turned to a night raid. It is very unlikely it was supposed to be a night raid. You never send a fucking secretary to a hot engagement. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. Okay, it was supposed to be like the least fucking confrontational event ever. Okay, like realistically speaking, because what the fuck would the secretary do, right? You have a risk of her panicking and all that stuff. Like, it's just like there's no fucking way they send her on a hot engagement. Right, so even her, when she explains what it was, she could be explaining it wrongly, saying it was a night raid. And when you think a night raid, you're thinking like fucking guns blazing, like a fucking unit, FBI open up, people jumping from the fucking roof. No, it's probably like, knocking on someone's door. Hey, we need to investigate this place. We have an intel that somebody is here, and they go and fucking take him. Okay, or she's not in a fucking... a danger, a hot engagement. Okay, like, it just fucking makes no sense. And it's fucking secretary. So, when people think about the night raid, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Understandable. We don't know what that guy did, though. We don't know what the raid was for.
He could have been a vicious
terrorist
monster.
Yeah, what if he killed people? Of course. If he killed people, of course he would be worthy of being arrested.
Ethan, is Ramallah a part of Israeli territory?
I mean, it's complicated, right? It's under occupation.
Actually, some of it is. I actually was stationed in the next near Ramallah. For 2 weeks. we had like just like it was like training for us to be stationed in like a hard place, and everybody in that town that lived there were like veteran military, and dude, they had like that shit locked down, and they were the ones testing us, the military. It was fucking hilarious. Like they would do regular checkups on us. They would do all the patrols and shit like that. We would just be in towers overlooking. Intense fucking 2 weeks, like straight up. We were like all living in like this little fucking, I don't know what to call it, budka basically. It was just like a fucking, like a garage, like based on today's standards, you would call like just a garage. Like we were 18 people all living there, like for 2 weeks. It was fucking crazy. Not comfortable, whatever. Nothing to do in your free time, like, you know, cell phones and stuff like that. Not really a thing back then. Like, I mean, they are, but like you have like your, I think iPhone 3 or 4 was just came out. Okay, like it was it's early. Okay. Did it actually? When did iPhone 3 come out? When did iPhone 3 come out? Oh, so didn't even have iPhones back then. Fuck. Like I don't even, like it's been before, because like I was there 2006 2000, yeah, something like that. Oh, sorry, she joined actually in 2009. Actually, never mind. Yeah, because 2003, 2006 I was in Canada. 2006 I joined the army. So Hila joined probably in 2007. So yeah. Either way, still early days of YouTube. When did YouTube come out or whatever? 2005. So yeah, early days of YouTube. A couple years in. Yeah. So again, information on Israel is still very, very lacking. So yeah. So.
Oh, I don't think so. But it's under occupation, right?
Okay. So why was your wife in Ramallah?
Maybe or getting a terrorist that killed.
Yeah, no one knows why she was there. She was stationed there with Kfield. Like, I mean,
civilians.
She sat in a car. It's not complicated.
She sat in a car, didn't even leave it, and never did it again.
Your wife participated in an illegal raid according to international human rights. That is the reality. Now,
are you upset if this person?
Wait, what? How do you come to that conclusion? This was an illegal raid according to international human rights. This one specific raid was illegal. How do you come to that conclusion? What are you talking about? Like, what are these like fucking leaps in fucking logic?
Killed like a child. Would you be upset if this person they arrested like stabbed people? Like you don't know what you're talking about.
If she were to talk about,
okay, fine, my wife's a terrorist, bro. What the fuck? It's so boring.
No, stop. Listen to my words.
No, my wife is a terrorist.
That is, as many former IDF vets have on breaking the silence. If she talked about the
She's saying that night raids are illegal and she participated in one, but are they illegal? Especially at that point in time. Was it an actual raid, or does she say it was a raid? Was it just a patrol that turned into an engagement? We have absolutely zero fucking information. She could be herself hyping it up. We have no information about this specific operation or if it was illegal. Like, this is the problem with like, well, the internet basically, but it's like you're taking information from like 18 years ago, because yeah, I did the new math, right? Because like I was wrong about like when she joined the army. I think it was like 2008 she joined the army, right? You're taking information from 2025 and you're thinking about this. This is why I hate debates again, because they both make way too broad statements and just talk over each other. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I just love this one because of how many times Hamas Piker is getting debunked throughout. This is the last point I was going to talk about. I don't really care about the Nelson Mandela stuff. Where Hamas Piker admits that he's a terrorist supporter, which is fucking great.
In the same way that,
just like Frogan says, I don't hate only the ones that regret it.
Talk about, I would have no issue with her.
Do you hope she gets PTSD too?
I understand people can change.
I don't condone the raid, but I mean, see, neither of us have any information about like what actually happened. You know what I mean?
There is no, you don't understand. If she is illegally there,
okay,
she is not supposed to be there. It doesn't matter. Her and her entire brigade was not supposed to be there.
How do you know?
I don't think she knew what they were doing.
As a matter of fact,
I don't think she knew what they were doing or where they were
going. She 100% didn't know what they were doing. She probably had like a broad understanding of what where they were going. That's pretty much it. And she does. Let's be real, dude. I'm not gonna lie. When we were stationed in Ramallah, first of all, I didn't even know where it was on the map. Second of all, I had no idea the actual situation in that area at all. You are not taught these things for the most part. You're not taught like basic geography and whatever. You're not taught the intricacies of diplomacy and politics of every specific region that is contested inside of Israel. Right? You are told to go do a mission and you go and do it. Right? As long as the mission is not like fucking, put these citizens in a lineup and shoot them, you usually don't question much of what you're getting done. Right? You have a mission, There are people smarter than you that decided that this is the way to do it, and you go and fucking do it. Okay, your commander might know. Hassan literally just sucked off Pakistan jihadis. I know I'm going into that soon. Oh, I'm so going into that. We're gonna talk about the India-Pakistan thing, and I already reacted to Hamas Piker talking about it, which, by the way, he claims that Palestine is a rogue terrorist state as well, based on his description. We're gonna talk about that. But yeah, it's like, as a soldier, you don't know shit. Ask me if you need any context. Oh, we'll do. We're getting there soon. We're almost there. I'm almost done with this point. But yeah, we have absolutely no context. Hila might not even know if it was a night raid or a fucking patrol, because you, as a soldier on the ground, a regular soldier, you don't know actual shit. Like, you're not told practically anything. You're told the mission, go do this, and that's it. Like, you're not fucking explained everything.
What she participated in.
I don't think she knew where they were going or what they were doing.
What she participated in.
Okay,
is
she's a
called
terrorist.
night raid.
Please, we got to move on. This is
the
like
reason
just
why.
so...
The reason why the Israeli occupying force.
Oh,
the reason why the Israeli occupying force participates in these night raids into the West
You're making
Bank
this unwatchable.
is to create a constant feeling of terror.
So talking more does not make you right.
Constant feeling of terror.
The reason why the Israeli
There's such a constant feeling of terror that kids are out in the streets throwing rocks at military because they're so afraid of them. No, because they know that they're not gonna do shit to them. That's why. Like, what, you think they're so emboldened to throw rocks at military because they think they're gonna get shot? No, because they know they're not gonna get shot. Because they know that Israel is not really gonna do anything, and it's like the one-off that something does happen. First of all, the soldier is going to jail for attacking a citizen that threw rocks at him. Not supposed to be there, so why are they there? Maybe because they have a mission there and patrol to raid terrorist hold. This was more of a police-style raid. I mean, again, we don't know enough information, but like, to say straight up out of nowhere they're not supposed to be there, like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know anything about it. I feel like if she did do it, she'd come out about it and say how disgusted she is with her doing it. It's much less believable that she just hasn't done it and hasn't defended herself yet, rather than her being an anti-Arab pig that doesn't have any repentance. Yeah, honestly, like, because if she believes that Israel is in the wrong, Israel is committing a genocide right now, right? And that belief is pretty much has been true for the last few years, even when she said that she was in the IDF and she was in the night raid. That means that she would say how disgusted she was by doing the night raid. Fact that she didn't say that, if anything, would conclude more to the point of, like, she didn't really know what they were doing. That, like, more so about that, you know, like, than she is actually, like, you know, a terrorist supporter of IDF or whatever. Like, it's just, like, none of the logic actually is consistent with this whole argument of her being a terrorist. And by the way, I don't agree with Hila or Ethan about Israel at all, but like, this one argument is just so fucking stupid.
Repeating yourself.
Participates in night raids is to create a constant sense of terror.
We don't condone it. She was 19. She was doing military conscription. She didn't know where they were going or what they were doing. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm listening, but you just keep repeating yourself. This is what you do.
You gotta move on. The reason why I know that. You want to know why I know that?
Do you want this to be unwatchable? Is that what you want?
What?
Do you want this to be unwatchable?
The reason why I know that, Ethan, is
take that as a yes.
Breaking the silence of veterans who have come out and spoken out against this practice. That's why I know that.
Hassan, you say that Hila could have gone to jail and done a conscientious objection instead of joining the army. Why do you pay taxes?
What?
Why do you pay taxes to the United States government?
This is your big argument, Ethan?
Answer the question.
That I pay taxes and I'm morally culpable? I know. That's why I try to fucking fight
against
the goddamn government doing
why
this
don't you
shit
stand
every
up for
day.
Hold on, why don't you stand
Why don't you leave? Why don't you leave, bro? Well, you're supporting the government, you're paying your taxes. Why don't you just, not pay your taxes and go to jail as a statement? Why don't you leave the U.S. as a statement? It's like, hey, I don't want to give you my money because I don't agree with what you're doing. Yeah, like, again, it's very easy to say. It's like, well, why didn't you just go to jail, right? And completely fuck up your future in Israel, right? Why don't you just do that? So stupid.
Stand up for your principles and go to jail for it.
Because it would not actually stop, okay? It would not actually stop.
Oh, if she didn't, well, okay. But if she didn't go to the army and went to jail, then it would actually stop. Or they didn't do anything worth talking about, arrested some car thief. I mean, again, like, no one knows what this operation was. Just a weak operation.
The reason why I'm saying,
what wouldn't stop?
I don't take issue with Hila's fucking actions then, as long as, just like you said, she was just 19 years old. I take issue with
paying taxes and joining the army are very different. Are they? You're supporting the same government that supplies the army. I mean, like, again, it depends how big of a leap you want to do. Okay, also, it's joining the army. You have to join the army, right? It's like, no. And also, let's be real here for a second. If the US has mandatory service, Hassan is not going to jail refusing to go to the army. Okay? He's not gonna make that statement. He will join the army because he's a fucking coward. Level of separation when paying taxes, though. Level of separation when paying taxes, though. I mean, look, the way I see it, Hassan is a millionaire. He hates America. He hates what America stands for. If he doesn't want to pay taxes to America, he can leave America because he's a fucking millionaire. He can go live wherever he wants. He can go live in the places that he's advocating for. He is a millionaire. Go and live in the places where you advocate for. Advocate against the US in the places that you support. And give them your money because they are doing good. Why doesn't he do any of that? Because it's very comfortable living in his mansion in LA. That's why.
Fact that she still defends it on principle. She says the Israeli occupying force is not a terror organization. You have a disagreement with him.
Well, I think I can see it from her perspective too, which is like, the problem with you is that everything's black and white.
You can't see it from Rashid Al-Haddad's perspective.
Yeah, he's a fucking terrorist who says he wants to kill Jews. And you said like Anne Frank.
That's why you can fucking constantly claim that he is a terrorist.
Oh my God, bro! Please, I want this to be watchable. Okay, let's move on, please. Thank you. You made your point. Okay. So specifically, you said this.
From here on, it's like Nelson Mandela and Hamas Piker admits that he's a terrorist. This has been covered multiple times, but like so many creators, this like all of this just basically proved that he's a terrorist supporter, and like material supporter based on the definition, not materials in like gives the money. Maybe it does give the money. Maybe he's getting paid. I don't know, one or the other. But yeah, anyways. That's it for this. Okay, we are done with this. Holy, this was a thing. All right, sweet.